It's like, why does Noah like her? And I'm like, well, of course, she's hot. Like, why wouldn't you like her? And this girl is like, okay, I need to see why because
I'm very curious.
she's,
Oh my god.
How?
Oh my-
Frank's all the looks here.
So canceled. Canceled.
I'm not ashamed to say that.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Wait till the podcast comes out, then we'll see if you're in shape or not.
What's your email again, Frank?
My name's not Frank. Okay, so welcome to Otaku, episode 12. You have the misfortune of me being the host, and we have Ray, Miles, the usual suspect, and Ivan.
Hello.
Yo.
Today on the menu, we'll talk a little bit about what we've been doing, maybe a bit of news, and for the main topic, it's going to be the 3 animes we reviewed for spring, is it?
Spring.
Okay.
I just like taking time. Part 1 of part 2.
Stay tuned next week for part 2. We cover the other show.
And then the following week for part 2 /
Point
final
9,
part.
6.5-9 days. Kingdom Hearts title here.
All right. So why don't we get started with Miles, because I'm most excited about his week.
It's been a while. Hey, guess what game I'm playing? Guess. Everyone, come on. Guess.
Oh, please let it be Zelda.
Correct. But which
Shocker.
one?
Maybe the right one for once?
Yeah, the right one. Actually, you're right. So I've been playing Tears of the Kingdom. I already did most of it. I know I listened to everyone's talk about it, so we're not going to go much in depth because we did it already.
You listen to us?
Of course, I always listen to the podcast, right?
Sure he does. No one's shocked.
So so I played Tears of the Kingdom so far. I finished most of the 4 lands. I guess I'm almost at the end game, I guess. So I'm exploring around, looking at deaths, doing around. It is a good game. There's a lot of things you can do. There's some changes I don't like, especially about like the Great Fairies. It costs you money to upgrade your clothing now.
Hey, that economy.
Hey, man, inflation happens. Hit us all. Great fairies or none.
But like 200 rupees though, guys. 200 rupees to get a third tier? I don't know. But no, there are a lot of things I've seen people on the internet. A lot of things you could do to get get rich quick, or you could duplicate some things if you have certain versions of, like, I guess it was pretty broken when it first came out.
All the duplicates, you mean?
Yeah, all the duplicates and all the nonsense you could do there. But overall, I enjoyed the game. I'm amazed that for amounts of stuff there's like, they get away with it because there's not really much there. Like the depths, for example, the depths are there's a lot of it, but a lot of it's very kind of like just exploring, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, I'm waiting for the expansion pass, what they're going to come with next. I'm kind of curious the connection we get with the first game, because I feel like you could play this game and you don't let play Breath of the Wild per se.
No, not really.
Because they really don't mention anything, any event other than like, obviously you've seen the character before, yay, right? So I guess I'm curious if they're going to be a DLC to kind of connect the two, because I feel like I'm waiting for that moment of connection, because I feel like there are 2 separate entities. But I'll wait for that.
I don't see it happening, but good luck.
I feel like they'll make a Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity 2.
I feel like that's more likely.
And I mean, I'm just hoping for that. And
just chilling for the game just a little bit on the spot. First time Frank's ever brought this up on the podcast.
I don't know how they're gonna include Link in that, because it's just Zelda. But I want to see what, like, all the stuff she did running around and stuff. And the other question I have is, what do you wear?
Right now I usually wear the Hylian hood.
On or off?
On, because they're well, I maximum to level 2 now, so that give me 12 each. Or sorry, 8 each, and I have my hood at 12. So I guess I would do 3. But the hard part is trying to get all the items for it, because the more you level up, like there are extra 3 items for each one, and you also need the rupees, which rupees are very hard.
I like the hood off. It looks better, in my opinion.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
Oh my god.
Video games. Ivan's. Keep up. Where have you been? For weeks we've been talking about this, Ivan.
Yeah.
Well, I know you guys are talking about that. I'm like, huh? What?
Huh?
Oh.
What is this?
I was wondering what somebody who didn't play feels.
I was playing Octopath instead.
So other than that and homework that we did this episode, that's pretty much all I did. So I guess we'll pass baton
to Ivan because he's already mentioned something.
So when everyone was playing Zelda, I decided to start one of the games from 5 years ago. It was released. When was it released? Octopath 1.
I don't even know what year.
More than 5, I want to say. Well,
19, right?
Let's say like 18. Air.
So my backlog is pretty backed up. So I'm like,
You need to catch up.
I'm gonna finally start a game, and I got really into it. I got like 30 hours, but I'm not gonna say I got bored, but I always do this where it just kind of
Walked away.
It's slowly I start playing it less and less and less, and then I end up playing a game I always play, which is Mario Kart.
Are you just the meme where the guy turns his head and you're playing another game?
Kind of, yeah. So this last week has been nothing but Mario Kart. Oh, and I rewatched Nagatoro, so that was cool. And that's it.
I did watch one episode because you told me, and I haven't been able to.
So I've been telling Frank and my cousin about Nagatoro, because the reason why I started rewatching is because of the animes we watched, and I'll get more into it when we get into the reviews. But sometimes I get frustrated with the relationships of the characters, so I go to like a happy place. I'm like, let me go back to a happy place. This feels much better. And then,
you went to an anime?
Well, like in story wise.
And you went to an anime?
Yeah. So that's basically what I did. But I know everyone was playing Zelda, and so I just think it's funny because everyone was playing Zelda, and I'm like, I'm playing Octopath.
Just over there having your own little ball of fun, I guess.
Well, it did help that Frank like is into it, so he kind of like pumped it up. I'm like, yeah, let's do this.
As he shakes his head on the other side of the phone conversation.
I actually inspired him to pick it up again, right?
Yeah, but then
Tears of the Kingdom showed
the
up.
final boss kicked my butt.
But what I kind of did like about Octopath is that you can steal from what is it called, NPCs?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a game mechanic I've never gotten into. So I got really into stealing from.
That out of context, that's great. When Ivan's been gone since Vegas, he's really been to breaking felonies and petty crimes.
So started to my own little drift over here, grip over here. I got good at it.
Let me help Frank here with the soundboard. I think I got one here just for Ivan.
FBI, open up!
Yeah, so I would go to areas where like I basically shouldn't be there, and I would go start stealing from like the NPCs and higher level items, and then go back to
Master Thief.
Go back to like where I should be at, and basically kick the boss's butt, because like I'm all OP. So, but it was pretty tough because as like the characters, if you haven't finished the story, the percentage is a lot lower. So you have to do a lot of like soft resets, so you can get it. So you have to kind of be smart with your money. So I'm like, okay, if I miss this amount of times, it's like 8,000 or whatever, So but they're selling it for like 100, so it's a lot cheaper to try to steal it and take a cup, So because you have 5 tries to steal, if not you have to soft reset. So. And then sometimes I'll be gambling. I'm like, hopefully I get this one and this one.
So he's stealing
and gambling with those winnings.
Yeah.
Off to Vegas he goes.
So that. But yeah, so that's been my.
So when you're not doing crimes, Ivan, what else are you doing? Anything else, or are you just too busy doing crimes?
That was basically in how I mentioned, like when I kind of got off of Octopath and always back to Mario Kart.
Oh no!
So when the cops chase him, he'll be able to run away.
It's because me and my our other buddy, like we've been going at Mario Kart for like maybe like a good 3 years, and when we go at it, we go at it.
That's when the action really picks up.
And this is why they made DLC all these years later just for these two.
Yeah.
You're the reason they don't make a Mario Kart 9.
You're dragging us down, Ivan.
That is very true.
And Ray, how about you? What you been up to?
So for me this week, been doing the homework for this week, 3 shows to cover, and so I had to catch up since I haven't watched anything since our preview probably like 2 months ago now, something like that. So the one show I did catch up that wasn't part of the official homework was Demon Slayer, but I've only caught maybe the first 3 or 4 episodes, and I kind of maybe talked about it here and there on the podcast, the fact of I'm not the biggest fan of Demon Slayer because
No.
of character motivations. I know. Shocker. Me doesn't like anything. It's very shocking, I know. But at the end of the day, it's beautiful animation and it's action shown in nonsense that I still can appreciate. I wish I could love it, but so far appreciate.
As long as you don't think about it, Ray, it's fine.
It's a lot of just empowering. And don't get me wrong, like shonen battle nonsense is just nonsense. But like somehow Demon Slayer goes like, what if we get even lazier though? So that's where I kind of draw the line. But anyway, so I watched it. I started the new. Now we're just gonna go through the numbers, and here we go, hitting the ranks, up to number 1 until we got to defeat Michael Jackson. We'll see what happens. But
each one taking each one out every time.
One, yeah, it's a hit list basically.
What's funny is like I have never watched the show, but I know who you're referring to. Yeah. Well, oh yeah, I've seen pictures.
I've seen that picture.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's still beautiful. I feel like the openings are still not as good as the first opening. I don't even like the first opening. I'm gonna watch it because it's just popular, and I'll tell you later on why it sucks. So stay tuned.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's Demon Slayer. And the other thing that I guess is part of my week, and kind of associated with the podcast, is the fact behind the scenes when I'm not helping making this podcast happen, is I've been working on my streaming career, I guess streaming hobby perhaps.
VTubing?
Yeah, I'm going to be a V2. Hello, welcome. There's a million of us now on the internet. I'm going to join the ranks of them. So by chance, if you're listening to this episode when it first comes out on Wednesday, check out me on Twitch TV.
So you self-promote before you go out. That's even better.
Pretty much timing. You got to time it all. You got to time it like marketing. So you have the posters, you put up on the billboards, you drive down the freeway. Like, oh, maybe I should watch that. Next thing you know,
is this a pre-show? Is this what this is?
This is basically what it is. But in timing, when they hear it, it's like, hey, maybe they'll be checking it out right now, and I might be live right now. If it's Wednesday, July 5th, I'm celebrating my independence a day later after America.
Yeah,
the real America's gonna show up on the 5th.
Internet Independence Day.
Exactly. So I'm gonna be playing Valkyria Chronicles for those who've checked it out. If you're an anime fan, you should check it out because it's pretty much anime with turn-based tactic strategy stuff. So it's a very good game. I'm gonna be playing as my first game. It checks a lot of boxes for me. I'll be streaming live on Twitch TV, SD_Shonen, at 3 to 6 o'clock in the afternoon. And then if not, I'll also be live on Friday, continuing Valkyrie Chronicles, where I left off in 3-hour segments. That will be I'll be Friday night / Saturday morning at midnight. I'll be doing my own midnight channel, I guess, between 12 a.m. and 3 a.m. So if you're free around those times and you want to help out a struggling new YouTuber or Twitch person, then come say hello. And
please hello.
Hopefully I won't disappoint you too much. And I'll tell you why Demon Slayer sucks. And right there. You don't have to wait.
Yeah, the unfiltered version.
Exactly.
Get the hot takes straight out of the oven. Just hot takes coming
So look forward to that. And that'll probably be my current schedule at the moment on Wednesday afternoons and Friday / Saturday evenings, early ass morning. So look forward to
early
that.
ass morning. There you go. That should be an acronym right there. Early ass morning.
I might put it in the description. Stay tuned.
Well, that's cool. I kind of wish I did that, but I'm just too lazy to fix stuff around the house.
We'll get you there, Frank. We'll get you there.
Yeah.
If I can figure it out, then anyone can figure it out.
I mean, I have a bunch of laundry I gotta do. Anyways, so that's it for your week?
That's it for me, Frank. What about you, Frank?
The best for last.
I've been the best. No, I've been a bit busy because I started coaching, but I've been watching and playing Octopath Traveler 2 while I watch, according to Jim. And it's really cool. I like it better than part 1. I feel the stories are more interesting. It looks better. I think the music is better too. I think it fits more of the characters. Yesterday I was listening to all the character themes, and I guess they have a theme plus the battle theme that matches that theme for the character.
Huh.
That's pretty cool. I might have spoiled myself because I haven't heard these, so it's probably like the final battle.
Internet, Frank.
It's okay. It was good. I did notice that part 2, I think it's easier than part 1, and that's why I'm that far away. Probably the final boss is not gonna be so easy, so I'm trying to get everything right now. Besides that, I've been watching very slowly Slam Dunk.
The Slam Dunk. It's been a minute since we talked about Slam Dunk.
I mean, I was stuck in this karate episode or that was it just took me forever to watch it because it just kept going like, join the team. No, you don't want the pictures? Yes. And then they said that like 5 times. I'm like,
It does suffer from that 90s, that
Pacing.
Yeah, so there's always a manga. I think that
there's always a manga.
There was always the manga.
no, it's because like those animes
Cliff
like,
notes.
like Sailor Moon, Dragon Ball Z, like Slam Dunk, all those 90s animes, they do a lot of that stretching it out, and as it gets deeper into the story, there is some times where it's like there's 24 seconds left and it's like a full episode, so be ready for that. That does happen. It does happen, but it's still one of my top 3 for a good reason.
But at least if interesting stuff is happening, I don't mind. But right now they were just like talking about a picture, and I'm like, I still have hope for it. I just my schedule has been packed with Zelda, now Octopath, and coming up Final Fantasy 16. So
what got you more interested is that the fact that they animated the new movie, right?
no, I didn't even know.
I think no, when I mentioned it.
Oh, well, I mean, but I was already watching it, though.
No, I know, but because I think I said, oh, they animated a new movie that concludes the story, and then you're like, oh, really? Because even I was, like, kind of shocked.
I don't think it interested me more. I think it was like, oh, damn, I gotta hurry up.
Yeah, because...
feel like behind.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, it gave me a goal to finish it faster.
Yeah, 1 month. July, the last week of July, I'm getting the tickets.
There you go.
We're gonna go.
I just gotta bang it out one of these weekends.
Because I wasn't interested. I didn't really care for it because I thought it was like a, you know how anime movies always make like these not filler
spin-offs, things that aren't
but
real.
It's not. It concludes the manga.
Right.
And when I heard that, I'm like, oh yeah, because like the manga ends in a really cool way. So
now I'm happy to finish it because when you told me that they didn't have the ending, I was like, ugh, come on, this is
perfect time for you,
another
Frank.
skip beat. Come on.
Yeah, well,
just as old too.
That happened a lot in the 90s, right? A lot of animes, they picked them up and just kind of
still happening today, perhaps.
Yeah.
But like I still see some of those clips of Slam Dunk, and it has gorgeous animation for like that old school style. Like it's really good, like that thick, those thick lines, like. I
those
see
thick
some
thighs.
Yeah, I see those new
that redhead Takaguri.
Oh.
See, redheads we confirmed on the podcast. Tall redheads, we got it. It doesn't matter.
Man, can ball.
He can ball.
He's perfect.
He's perfect. He's number 1.
I think I'm not a fan of the style that they've portrayed so far, especially the faces that they do. I think.
Oh my gosh, this is blasphemy to me. This is blasphemy to me.
It was
I'll hold you back. I'll hold you back.
It's like because he is considered. I'm not gonna know his name, but he's considered like one of those kind of top tier manga.
Oh, the creator.
Yeah, because he also does on Vagabond. Right?
So this is on purpose, the way
his style, like his characters.
I believe that's what he's.
You know
going
what
for.
the best animation of the.
Are you talking about the animation, like from the anime, or like the character designs?
Is that the same thing?
I would argue no.
Well, anyways, I'm talking about the people. The way they're drawn look funky to me. So whatever that is called, that's
the art / character design.
The same man also read One Piece.
I don't know how to explain it. This is just how I see. I see a bunch of triangles. I mean, rectangles. But the best animation that I've seen in the anime is the opening. I like it's so smooth compared to during the episodes.
Well, it's like a 90s anime where like when it gets more
when the shit happens, they'll try.
Yeah, and then when it's like a little
when
bit
shit happens, they'll try.
No, yeah, that's very typical of 90s.
Yeah, there were certain episodes when like oh they spent all the money here in this episode.
So but I remember rewatching like the first couple of episodes, and I didn't think it looked bad.
Well, I don't know if I will say bad. It's not my type. But you know what? I'm a type of person, like someone said right here. I watch One Piece,
so what do you know, Frank?
It's not what I know. It's just like I tolerate it, but I'm not gonna let it slide and not say it.
So weird shapes are fine, but rectangles, no.
Stretchy gum people are fine.
Yeah, you gotta get the right angle.
I'm still a little shocked. I'm not gonna lie, because he is considered like I would have to look up his name, but he also does Vagabond, and so he does like more of that kind of berserk style, where they're a little bit more
a little
deep.
closer. Yeah.
Yeah, he also does another one called Rio. It's a basketball players, that they
Handicapped basketball player.
Yeah, so but it's also I've never read it, but they say it's also a really good series.
I've also heard this. I have not. Either.
I seen it in stores. I never back in the day.
Yeah, it's pretty old now.
Yeah.
And then after that, he didn't do Vagabond. No, yeah, Vagabond, right?
I want to say no, but I don't know. Something to look up.
I'm gonna look it up. If not, it's gonna bother me.
Well, while you guys look it up, I'll just quickly finish up a few thoughts I wanted to share about Octopath Traveler 2. So if anybody's gonna play it and they can't decide, because I wish I knew this kind of stuff. To me, the best team is the dancer, the thief, and the apothecary.
That's what you said last time.
With the warrior. And not only do they do great in battle, they have the really good NPC skills. The thief can steal, like Ivan's favorite thing to do.
He's got a lot of practice of that recently. FBI, open up! Exactly.
And the dancer in this one, at night can pretty much steal also, but as long as she's high enough level, they give it to her free. They're like, "Oh, you're gorgeous here."
I do want to say something really quickly about the Octopath one, that her story, the dancer story, is all like all sus. They like it's like
Not that kind of stuff.
it's like they're like, "Oh, dance for me, pretty girl." Dude, I don't know if you remember by any chance the story, and then she's like, "Oh, I need to do this to find the killer of my father."
You gotta do
It's
what
like,
you gotta do.
Yeah, so it's all sus. You can definitely tell that character was meant to be like the fan service character from Octopath 1. If you guys have seen the character design,
Yes.
the gypsy looking one, yeah.
You tell me to try to hit a certain demographic with it, probably.
Yeah.
What? No.
I don't think there's one like that in this one. Everybody's well covered up.
Oh yeah, but it was funny. I'm reading the story. It's like very if you're an adult, you know what they're trying to say, but they kind of keep it in PG-13 form. So I thought it was.
There's some, not that many, but there's one, because they have like little scenes in this one. I don't know if they have it in the first one, where if you do certain things and you have to press start, and it's called banter, and two characters talk to each other.
Oh yeah.
And one of them, the dancer was walking, and she had a basket of peaches, and then the merchant comes and like, "Oh, look at those peaches," and then she's like, "Oh," and then he just kept going like, "Yeah, can I nibble on them?" And it was like, what? And then they just kept going, like they kept saying things, and eventually, well, I won't buy it unless you want to. And then she's like, "Wait, are you talking about these peaches?" And then she's like, "I'm sorry, I thought bad of you." But they do have a few things that are kind of like
too much.
But I love all the characters in this one. There's not a single character that I would say is boring. The story of the dancer, I think, is kind of boring. But she's not boring. Okay. Anyway, that's enough of Octopath, because I'm really into it and can't stop talking about it.
Couldn't tell.
I love a lot of details about it. Anyways, does anybody have any news that they want to share?
I got a couple quick things, I guess.
I'll go first because mine's is quick.
Fair enough.
From that Nintendo Direct,
the
one thing that interested me was the Mario RPG remake.
Ah.
I already reserved it.
Oh, wow. You all in already?
I kind of reserved it by accident, but...
All right, let's back. How did this happen?
Wait,
well...
how was the other, what you just said earlier? This game is not boring. But no, how did
No, I said she's not boring, but her story is boring.
Oh, okay. But it sounded funny because it's not boring.
Yeah, it was a very frank moment. That was a moment where, here, let me steal this one again for you, Frank, here.
Objection!
What you just said was a contradiction, Frank. It made no sense for a sec there. We have problems and we need to re-justify that and let listeners know that they're not insane and that was a big contradiction. And now we're back to where you were, Frank.
That's funny.
Where was I? Oh, yes. I reserved it by accident. I went to go pick up Final Fantasy 16, and they're like, "Would you like to reserve any or pre-order some games?"
The classic.
And then I looked it up.
GameStop person, eh?
I looked it up, and I'm like, nothing seems good. And then I saw Mario, and I'm like, what the hell? Yeah, because those kind of games those are the actual Mario games that I like. You know, like those
right.
and Superstar Saga. And then I try to reserve the amiibos that were coming up, but they're like, oh, we can't. I'm like, what are you useful for?
You're useless to me.
Uh-huh.
Get out of my sight.
So yeah, that's how I did it. So I guess I'll play it.
There you go. Apparently, it sounds like you. Hopefully, you are.
I'm very excited.
You already put money down on it. Yeah, I don't know. It's personally for me, I feel like the art style worked for the Super Nintendo, but I don't know if it works for the Switch. But the game is still the game, so as long as that's still good, I'm sure it'll be fine.
I didn't see any rectangles, so we're good.
Don't like
Whoa,
them
whoa,
shapes.
whoa,
Was that a rectangle?
Whoa.
Let me think about that now. Let's see here. So yeah, news I have pretty much announcements, quick notes. So the Slam Dunk movie comes out here in America on July 28th. So pre-order your tickets now.
Let's go.
I am kind of interested. For Miles, Spice and Wolf is returning in 2024.
Woo!
The thing has been in anime hiatus for like 15 years, something stupid like that. The sad part is it's not specified if it's a sequel or a remake or whatever.
I'll take it.
But the fact that someone's bringing back Spice and Wolf is kind of shocking for me. But okay, coolio.
Let's go.
I'm pretty sure that's exactly what Miles said. Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic Prime Season 2 hits Netflix on July 13th, so just...
Ray cannot wait right now. Ray cannot wait.
I'll watch.
You're comparing yourself to me? Ha! You're not even good enough to be my fake.
And also, yeah, Shadow's in that season too. Oh god. We'll see what happens. It was interesting that season 1. Everyone's got a multiverse these days, am I right? Shin, Kamen Rider hits Amazon Prime on July 21st. I didn't see it, but now I can. So, everyone who was an Ava fan.
Is this about the Shin Ultraman yet or no?
That I have not seen. I saw the Kamen Rider one.
I think that was first, but I don't know if that's...
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's somewhere else, but I did see that in the anime news, or kind of anime news, since it's Hideki Anno. For those who've seen Eva, check it out.
Right.
With Shin Godzilla.
Tenchi's basically gonna play that same theme song again.
Oh, I guarantee it's the same composer. We're gonna play the same
same
songs. Here we go. Giant Monsters. Probably. Why not? And look, it's an Ava Unit 1. Another one for Miles. Konosuba Season 3, 2024.
Yeah, a lot of things come out 2024 this year, isn't it?
I'll take it. Yeah, as a guy who was a little late to the Konosuba, despite it felt like Konosuba was very old, that was an entertaining show. So hopefully we'll get more of that shenanigans. We had the spinoff last season, which is funny. No one passed for this. Miles, you dropped the ball.
Wow. No,
We'll find out later on.
No, I know. No, I know. I know what we're going to do later on. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Manga prices apparently going up for Viz Media / Shonen Jump
That's right.
here. So they're going to increase the prices in also 2024 from $10 to $12. So if you're missing those last few volumes of, I don't know, Bleach or Case Closed, maybe you want to catch up this year.
Start getting One Piece right now.
It's a good time to buy the whole set.
Yeah, buy all of One Piece.
It's a very short series, I'm told.
Yeah, it's only 100 volumes. That's
fine.
Easy.
It's no problem at all.
A drop in a hat.
What else? Little things from the Nintendo Direct. The MGS collection comes out on October 24th. It'll have Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, and 3 with the original Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2, and then plus the Americas, Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2, which are kind of different off those. So I know I will be pre-ordering that. Then the other Super Mario Bros. From the Direct, Super Mario Bros. Wonder comes on October 20th.
Yeah, that looks trippy. That was kind of cool and trippy at the same time.
I like the fact that they're actually trying to make 2D Mario more interesting, because New Super Mario Bros. Was okay, but it was very safe and kind of boring. But here it looks like they're taking more chances.
Yeah, look at it, the animation itself, right? Like him moving his hat.
The details.
It's crazy how much detail's in for being a 2D Mario game.
Yeah, so that's actually kind of exciting for myself.
Sadly, I'm gonna have to endure that game when my brother buys it for his kids.
The pain you go through, Frank.
Yes, I know.
Take you one for the team.
I'm glad you recognize my pain.
Yeah, just like Ray will feel like when Sonic Superstar comes out.
Probably. The RPG remake, November 17th, in case we forgot to mention that earlier. The new WarioWare Move It, November 6th, which...
I'm going to see how that was going to happen, because I was disappointed last time.
Hopefully it'll be better than the last. Also in 2024, Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon Remastered for the Switch.
Actually playable this time, not in low levels.
It will be nice if it's a little bit more coherent, but I'm hoping that, but I'm not actually gonna put money on that bet.
See, help us to like the Ocarina of Time and everyone else got from the 3DS coming out to the Switch.
There you go. And then the last thing I have here is Penny's Big Breakaway. I believe that's the name of the game. Pretty much my interest there, it is a kind of like mascot platformer, but the big interest to me, it's the developers behind the Sonic Mania game. And as a Sonic fan and as a person who appreciates the heck out of 2D Sonic, I have faith that these people can take that knowledge they took from that project and make it to something else that is their own and not have to work for Sega and blah, 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 blah. But yeah, so I look forward to see how that comes out in the future. I think that's going to hit Switch. Well, obviously for sure this is Nintendo Direct. But I don't know if it's other consoles or not. I forgot to look it up. But either way, new game from the Sonic Mania people I look forward to and will be on my radar in the future whenever the heck that comes out. And that is it for my news.
All right. Okay, this is my little hot segment here because I have to do this. So there is, because they closed down Love Live All-Star game like yesterday, but announced that Necro was going to come out at the end of this year. Yay! And then also they're making, based on the new anime for summer, they're making a RPG game of that said anime down, but it's by Intel Creates. People made like the Mega Man ZX. What do you call the one?
Not good at not as good.
Gunvolt, right? They do a lot of those like 2D scroller things, whatnot. They're making
it'll be a good one.
So yay, there's that too.
Is this when also elementary kids being idols?
Right? Why do you always have to ruin the moment?
I'm just remembering.
Why do you have to ruin the moment?
I remember the previews.
No one asked for this.
What was the name of the show?
I don't care!
Also true. That actually works.
Okay, I don't know if it's worse that he's directed it or that's directed at me, and it's like hurts even like twice as much. Like I took double damage.
I like Frank more and more this episode.
The numbers are going down. The numbers in my head went like from like 900 to 999. Overkill.
Some men just want to watch the world burn.
I'm not sure what this is referred to, but I'll let the viewers figure it out. You tell me, listener.
Anyway,
I'm just trying to be Ray here. That
Good. I'm gonna add that one to the soundboard.
okay. You know what? I'm out.
You lose. Good day, sir.
Pretty much.
That is what you call overkill.
I think I know what Frank likes the most about the podcast now.
I'm dead over here in the corner, and Frank's just like with a bat coming.
And this is why we have a rotation. Who's the main host, folks? Absolute power corrupts everyone. Absolutely.
Look at me, sure. I'm the captain now.
That was just for Frank.
All right.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you want to say more?
No, I'm good. I think I took enough. Thank you.
Just for Miles.
But you can't do this to me.
Classic.
Ivan, do you have any news?
No. The only thing I could think of,
Be careful, you
but
might
it
roast
already
you.
got mentioned, was a slam dunk movie. So, but it's getting aired officially in Anime Expo.
Oh, is it on Anime Expo this weekend?
Yeah, and then but it's coming out at your local theater July 28th.
Yeah, 28th.
Right. So, yeah.
Subbed and dubbed.
Okay, so you have a lot.
For those people who spent all day waiting in line Anime Expo, I've been there.
Oh,
Just throw me off. Throw me off this line.
you know what?
Hello
though?
there.
I don't think anime.
I did that also a lot in Anime Expo when you're bored on conversations.
Yeah, I don't think the Anime Expo has the same importance because like the digital or like online,
Right.
like before you actually were looking forward to like some form of physical medium, but now it's like
Half the things are like streamed on the internet, so you don't have to like wait in line.
And half the things there are by Crunchyroll.
You can watch all the other YouTubers and Twitchers hanging out there and be like, oh, you know, and you can stay in your own home in your AC while they're running around and suffocating in the heat. Yeah.
Let them do it while you're in the comfort of your own.
I gotta say this, and I'm thinking maybe next year I might go. I love pain.
So should we move on to the main topic, or you guys?
You guys good?
Mhm.
We're ready.
I'm good. I think I'm alive here. I think my HP came back up, so I think I'm here again.
At no point were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought.
oh my god.
They just.
I like how
I love you keep timing it perfectly, Miles. Miles, there's something in the break's like coming. It's not me this time. For once, it's not me. I just want the world to know
I like how,
it's not me.
as I try to get up, Frank comes back with the rocks and just pushes me back down.
No, it's like when you get like a revive or whatever, and then they do like another
back
like,
to critical. What hit HP point?
No, like you get revived, and then the boss they do like that one that swipes everyone.
Oh, takes everyone out.
That's what happened. Right
pretty
now.
much.
We gave him a revive, and then you got another. Or when they're aiming directly at that one character for whatever.
Yeah, for what reason they're picking.
They kill him, they knock him out, and then
Scott Miles is locked on, loaded.
You revive them, and like, oh come on, and then once again they get hit again. That's what happens.
Just getting wombo comboed over here.
Well, let's take a little break, okay?
All right, let's take a break.
And we're back better than ever.
I'm 100% alive this time. Hopefully, Frank doesn't.
Yeah, right.
You're gonna hear me
again. That super potion.
You're gonna hear me laughing. That's okay.
That kind of funny.
Oh my gosh, this is so stupid. It's like a little kid when you get a new toy and they're
Pretty
like,
much.
You know what? It's good to feel like a kid.
Christmas all over again.
I know. I just wish I had more time to work with this. Okay, so which one are we going with first? Should I pick it or
You're the host, right?
Oh,
You got the power in your hands, literally.
Galaxy, Skip and Loafer, and Raeliana.
Why Raeliana end up at the Duke expansion?
Well, let's go with
Raeliana.
the crust of the bread. Galaxy next door.
Interesting. I'm curious to see how this is gonna fit.
I thought it was done. I thought he was done with me, right? But then he's gonna.
Oh my god!
I could have said the turd of the sandwich. He could have said that.
Yeah.
I forgot that was.
I thought it was free. I thought it was over. Once again. Okay.
I'm so sorry.
He also took a high potion.
Oh wait, let me drink another one just in case.
Yeah, you
Phoenix
just used
down.
the
Phoenix down.
All right, let's go.
All right then, Miles. Well, why don't you welcome us into the galaxy next door?
All right. So the guy next door is my choice for this for the spring review, I guess. We start off, we kind of did a little bit of preview, but just in case you missed that episode, pretty much the story starts off with a man named Ichiro who his dad recently passed away, so single father, I guess. We don't know. Actually, no, what happened to his mother.
She's still alive, and they just don't get along.
Oh yeah, I think that's how that worked out. So he's in charge of his younger siblings, brother and sister, and he's trying to struggle to make it alive as a manga artist. One day he's looking for an assistant. He meets this beautiful girl named Shori Goshiki, and it turns out she has also unique otherworldly qualities.
Maybe she's from another galaxy.
Yeah, and so I guess throughout them working together, trying to be, I guess, a manga artist, though you don't really see that for most of the show. But they try to get together, and due to an incident that happens, they, I guess, become more intertwined, I guess. So most of the anime is them trying to learn how to about each other and try how to, I guess, deal with the situation that they're in. I guess open the floor to any thoughts and opinions firsthand, or should I just go for it?
Why don't you go first and finish off the party?
Okay. So me, first I thought would be a little more interesting in the sense there would be more like the otherworldly thoughts and how the society I guess she's from, how everybody gets that never really happens here. I mean, it is a slice of life show, but you could argue that for the most part, you don't really deal with the sci-fi-ness, the aspect of it, to only one or a few episodes. And other than that, if you turn to a different episode, it's oh look, these guys are they're trying to deal with how each other and how I guess their relationship grows and kind of is created and formed, I guess.
It's considered an isekai, right?
No, I would argue not. Maybe reverse isekai, but even then, that's maybe a stretch.
Well, it's never really implied, really. And I didn't want to go there without going into spoilers.
I feel like you kind of did.
I mean, it's the first 3 episodes. I mean, it's not actually.
Well, but you don't know that part until you get later into the show that you find out it's not much of a thing.
Shall we move on to your impressions, Ray?
Sure, whatever. What am I going to talk about? Galaxy Next Door. So one thing Miles failed to mention is this show in episode 1.
Failed to mention.
Is the whole? There's a big crux of this. So in the long term, we'll get to spoilers. Perhaps he's more correct, but there's this big story element where it turns out what's her name? No, something with a name. Shiori, yes. She is indeed another being from another world, she's some kind of mutant, maybe is the best I could describe it as. And because of an accident, basically, he touches her stinger, which I'll let everyone imagine what that looks like in their head right now. And because of this, in her custom, because she's from this little island outside of Japan, once you do this, apparently you're engaged to this person. This is your partner for life. You're one and truly best person to be with the rest of your life. Your new best friend. And so the whole synopsis or startup of this thing is like, oh, these two are now officially kind of a couple, despite neither one of them wants to be, because there's a whole story where Shiori wants to leave and not follow her people's customs, and that's why she ends up following the path of become a mangaka. But yeah, that's a bunch. I feel like I'm overstepping miles of stuff, perhaps a little bit here.
No. I've been stepped on this whole episode, so it's fine. At this point, nothing you can do can hurt me now. I'm Teflon.
Only makes you stronger.
I'm non-stick. Whatever you do,
it would be funny if you had the tee that hospital sound.
I'll think about it.
I already am dead. It's fine.
It's a clashing of worlds to a certain degree because she's very much an outsider, does not know how it is to live in mainland Japan in Tokyo, how to become a mangaka. She's all kind of learning everything fresh and new, and he's learning kind of the customs of herself, so they're kind of learning about each other. There's the cute siblings who are there, who are like elementary-ish age and like maybe preschool, with the youngest one, Fumio, I believe.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're just kind of being cute and adorable. Yeah, it's kind of like about family. It's about, I guess, being in a somewhat serious relationship, either because of weird circumstances or just because you fall in love and this and that. So yeah, it's a cute romance show, and I think that's my first impressions. I think I checked all the boxes on my head. Anyone else want to?
I think
share?
you said enough.
I think you're.
I think you said enough, Frank.
You're really good at this. That's why. No, I'm like, yeah.
I'll try my best not, because I guess I didn't want to reiterate what I said earlier.
But that was the preview.
Yeah.
But that was like forever ago. No one remembers the preview.
No.
You just have
old content. This is fresh, hot content.
See, listeners, at least I know you guys listened to that episode. That's why I didn't want to do it again.
Well, he's chasing the new old fans. I'm chasing the new fans. Welcome, new fans. Welcome to Otaku.
But that's a talent too, because like when I try to formulate my thoughts like that, it's like blah 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 blah. So I think that's pretty cool. I'll save my thoughts for when we get into spoilers.
Yeah, I think I can't. I mean, my thoughts are nothing happens.
Oh, right. And the other thing is, it's like there's a lot of things happening in the show. There's not enough time for it, perhaps. We'll get into more. Because also he's a mangaka. He takes care of his siblings. He's in a new, real serious relationship. And also he kind of runs an apartment building.
Well, but see, there are a lot of things like, this man does not sleep.
Apparently. So yeah, I personally, I was like interested because like, oh, Mason Nakaku. I sure like Mason Nakaku. Maybe we'll get some more of that about hanging out with our weird apartment attendees and this and that and what they're like. And then, I'm in this weird relationship and this and that. So yeah, off the bat, I was out of Miles's shows from the preview episode. You could go back to the podcast if you want to listen to that. This show was the one I was hoping he chose, and thankfully he did for those reasons. So yeah, it had a promising start.
I did get that Mason and Kako vibe too.
Well, I don't have much to say about my impressions. It's just I struggled to watch it.
Okay.
So let's move on to the full review.
Full spoilers. Here we go.
Who
wants to go first?
I was gonna say.
I know. I'm learning my lesson. You guys go first.
I was gonna say if I can go first.
So fight for it.
Yeah. Go ahead, Ivan.
Okay,
I'm ready for you.
So before I start, this is not against Miles.
Sure it isn't. It isn't.
I'm not trying to take a whack at the stick, but if I'm there.
Well, excuse me, princess.
So, when the show started, I was interested. I'm like, okay, this is interesting, and this is one of the weirdest shows I think I've ever seen because it felt so. I just wanted to shake everyone. I just wanted to because
Oh.
like it's oh my gosh, I couldn't believe how all the characters were like borderline trying to be perfect. And you know how Ray always says he wants them to talk things out and do things and but this show kind of did that, and I'm like, it frustrated me. I'm like, I need some misunderstandings. I need some
that juicy anime bullshit.
Yeah, I need some drama. Like not like they're like they kind of feelings get a little hurt, and then it gets resolved in the same episode. And I was so frustrated with it. I'm like, why?
Switches that for 3 episodes, please.
Yeah. So then now this is kind of getting into spoiler territory. The whole stinger thing. So probably the best scene, in my opinion, from the show was when the stinger was being removed from the main character, the guy.
At the very end.
And then I'm like, I finally start feeling the drama. Okay, I'm like, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. And then it gets pulled, and then they kind of once again they resolve it right away. Like grown ups, like no, you can't resolve it like grown ups. You need more drama. But then what killed it for me is like within a second they hug each other like I love you. I'm like, oh my gosh, I was so mad at it. I was so frustrated. So yeah, it was like the most positive show I've ever seen in my life.
And I hated every second of it.
And it was hard to watch.
So this is Ivan.
Some men just want to watch the world burn.
Yeah. So those were my impressions of it. It was just very I don't know, like
it's too happy. It's too happy for you.
Maybe too happy.
Too positive.
He likes that drama. Where's that melodrama?
I guess my biggest complaint would be the main girl, because she was like too nice. Like too nice. Like I needed a little bit more edginess. Him too.
We're writing a list of what's Ivan into, where everyone get your bingo card out.
Yeah.
So I mean the brother and sister were very like everyone was just like very sweet. It's like
who's got a traumatic past and needs to overcome certain things.
And even and then the cousin, even in the final episode, she's like I actually love my cousin.
Oh right.
But I'm still rooting for you. It's like everything's so positive. No, get down.
We wouldn't have a season 2 or 3 of SAO if we got that resolved that quickly.
They have to be like, I'm gonna destroy you because I want him. That's what we need in this.
Just need to be toxic as fuck. Can you please just be a terrible human being?
All right, so those are
Where's my
thoughts.
Cynthia at? Where's my Cynthia?
There you go.
So those are my thoughts.
Miles, do you have more thoughts you want to share?
The problem that I guess I'm like I haven't mentioned, it is very positive to a point. Like, I will argue in the mid between episodes, and like it kind of goes into circles in a way, because it kind of like, I misunderstand you. Well, I misunderstand you. Well, I'm sorry, but I misunderstand you. I'm sorry for it too. And it does the same thing again next episode.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
And it kind of like, especially like I said, midway, like it's like 5 through 8, we're kind of doing the same thing. Like, there's a misunderstanding. I don't know. Should I talk about it? I don't know. And then the end episode, I'm talking about it. Oh, good. We resolved the problem. Cool. We shake hands. See you next episode. It's like there isn't really much drama. I'm not saying like I don't think I need Ivan's. I'm gonna, no matter what I do, I'm gonna get it no matter what. But there's really any conflict really, and I think they didn't really show everything else that he does. Because it sounds like the manga part we saw for maybe 1 or 2 episodes.
The fact that he makes manga, just make sure.
And then maybe like down the road, like in an episode, like, oh, I'm gonna make a deadline, right? And that's like the only time we ever see him with the manga process. And the fact that it's like, other than like the drama with the mother and and that whole story beat, even that got like he's resolved. Like, I'll give you 1 more year. Okay, well, that's fine.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, that was like.
Glad we could talk this out.
It was like it's very weird, because like it's probably so positive that they're like, it's kind of, it could be too much to take. Much like we're probably
hard to believe, perhaps. Yeah,
I do miss the fact that we didn't even talk with anyone else, right? And anyone else in the apartments. We see him for 1 or 2 moments here and there, but we didn't like that got resolved off screen, or she'll mention like, I talked to her, like, she helped me with the nails and stuff, and and it's like on screen, like, in that moment, how do you know each other? That was the episode you missed. The episode back then, the episode 7.5. That's we had a moment, it's fun to watch, but I don't know to watch it all at once, It's like something like you watch one episode, like I feel bad. Oh, here's this warm story here, like it's like when you feel down, I guess you feel negative, then you want to maybe watch some of it, kind of in a way.
Makes sense.
Never thought about it that way. I feel like it has no consequences, this show.
Perhaps.
Ray, what about your thoughts?
So yeah, I could definitely see what Ivan's talking about the drama. It is very much, here's a problem, and it gets resolved pretty much immediately. And the big problem for this season is the fact of the mother is very conservative, and she doesn't want her daughter, like I mentioned earlier, she doesn't want her to come to Tokyo and being a manga. She needs to be at home and be her role as the princess of the island and this and that. And it pretty much gets resolved because of misunderstanding, which I guess is supposed to be played from our comical beat. But the problem is where the show ends up at the end, it is pretty much the climax of the season. And it's kind of weird to have the climax of the season to be a joke. But yeah, so it's very, the stakes aren't as real overall. It is also a production on the anime side of things, like animation side of things. It's not the high budget show. They often go to flashbacks of things that just happened in the same episode, if not the episode before. So that started to get a little old for me. I know we got to stretch it out. We're on a tight budget, but it's just like, really got to go back to the well.
I argue like somebody like 85% most of the shows like do some kind of a flash or something like that, of like to save the budget.
Yeah, but it's just like it's hard. This isn't the 90s anymore, my friends. We have to let it go. What else was things that I wanted to mention? I was disappointed, as I mentioned before, and Miles kind of hinted at. They set up the idea of mangaka and deadlines, and she's the assistant. We gotta work together and get the deadlines, but then that just fades away. The fact he's the manager of the apartment building, that fades away. He has no responsibilities there to make sure everything's kept up, or that's happening there. The other tenants that live there, who cares? Doesn't matter. They don't exist. They show up for like a quick, I don't know, cameo, a montage maybe, and that is it. So that whole element doesn't matter. So like the fact that he's a manga, the fact he's an owner, the only thing that matters is these two are a couple. The fact that she's an alien also doesn't matter. It's just a new serious relationship, and the fact that he's basically got to take care of two kids siblings basically is the main draw and attraction and story focus of the show. So it's just kind of funny. I feel like there's just too many things happening that at the end of the day, none of that's important. And what's important is like the family element, which is fine and cute. And I can appreciate that. But it's just, as a storyteller, you got to like focus and be like, if I'm going to set this up, I need to follow through with it or cut it out and focus on the things that I want to do. And maybe in the manga they do, I don't know. But we're reviewing the anime, so I'm going to talk about the anime version.
The first volume of the manga. Well, I didn't read it. It is mostly the same. So, there's nothing real, like, qualms in there, but I'll probably read it again after watching it, probably.
Don't torture yourself.
It's fine. Like, there's nothing... It's, like, it's not the worst animated show. The opening endings actually are all right. Actually...
They're catchy.
The ending I liked maybe a little bit more. Anything else? The stakes, yeah. It's fine. The other biggest problem is just at the end of the day, and this is a thing that I feel like it's more... in my recent years, I'm not a fan of when seasons end and there's no announcement of a new season and they don't like have a decent resolve for the current story arc. And that's basically what happens here, because I mentioned earlier, you don't know what's going to happen next season. We don't know if we're ever going to get another season. I imagine probably not if I put money on the chips. But hey, Spice Wolf's coming back next year, so what the fuck do I know? So it's very fine, but it's also kind of forgettable, like really forgettable.
Are you done?
I think that's it for me.
Well. I guess I'll go next. Try to keep it short because I feel that this anime does not deserve too much talk.
There you go.
It's
very quick to the point.
Pretty bad. I felt the whole Stinger thing was a useless excuse to get the two together.
Pretty much.
Yeah, like you said, the mom thing was the most interesting part. I don't know why you want a second season. It's just gonna be resolved.
Pretty
nice
much.
Way. So you know what's gonna happen. Those kids are way too mature for their age.
Cousin.
The cousin was like, I don't know what's wrong with her. Like, why would you?
Because it's anime. We have to check the box.
Are there no other males around?
Apparently not in Japan.
The way I felt about this,
that's not markable. That's not markable, Frank.
I felt like
they're cousins. It's fine.
it was a little bit kind of like the relationships with Kirito, where like
yes.
everybody likes him. Like, come on, it's not like that.
What's he got?
For the most part, in this, maybe I'm wrong, but I think that most guys have trouble, finding someone, and I felt like that's the part I didn't like about, this anime. It's like, no, it's not gonna be that easy. This gorgeous girl's not gonna show up and suddenly like everything about you.
Well, welcome to anime, Frank.
Fantasy, Frank.
No, but I guess they just did it wrong. Like Ivan said, they put a little. I needed a banana peel on the floor or something. So
a couple boob grabs that'll sell you, Frank.
Yeah.
No, and then I guess the other thing that bothered me was the title. Like, I didn't feel like it was anything to do with another galaxy. It felt like they just had a boat ride to the other.
A bus ticket down the street.
Yeah, it was just like they were in Hawaii or something.
When the whole stinger thing happened, it caught my attention, but they just didn't do anything with it.
It was a quick, now we're in a relationship. Oh, okay. It was pretty much the equivalent of like in most stories, I feel like in this similar situation, it'd be like, well, our parents are like old friends, like Ranma, like we're old friends, so you're gonna get married to their kid because blah 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 blah, and that's how it works in Japan.
Yeah.
And that's basically what happens, but they come up with this whole like supernatural sci-fi thing that doesn't really matter at the end of the day because it's like the stinger and that's it.
It would have been cool, like if he pulled the stinger and like a dragon came out, like, oh, it's the dragon inside the shell.
Oh shit.
You know what was interesting, where they kept telling the girl that, oh, he only likes you because he touched your stinger, and then I just felt like she should say, well, I guess Dad only likes you because he touched your stinger. Anyways,
that, Ma.
bad. It was. I had so much trouble finishing it. I guess my favorite part was that some of the music reminded me of the game I Am Setsuna.
Oh, okay.
And that's it. Other than that, don't watch it.
That's
don't waste your time. Watch a blue screen on TV or something.
Oh my god!
I hear Statics is really good this year.
I like how I like how to make sure to sell the point at the end. Frank went to go say, "Don't watch whatever Miles picks."
I hate to break it to you, Miles, but the first round draft pick next season is not looking good so far.
It was a laugh.
You serious?
Basically.
So yeah, I'm pretty much done with it. If anybody does not have any objections,
I guess just since you said it, Frank, and I don't think anyone else said it. At the end of the day, would you recommend the show to anyone? Start with Miles.
Oh, okay. Start with
because I'm staring at you.
One more quick jab, huh? But see, it depends because I was okay with it. From the beginning and the end part.
Mm-hmm.
The middle, I felt like got a little lost and kind of with the seeming sparkles, and the fact that the relationship itself kind of it grew too fast. We went from 0 to 60 in less than 2 episodes maybe. That was a little much for me, but overall the fact the little brother sister and the fact they're trying to do family things and trying to incorporate them into their situation, I think it was okay. By ranked probably not because it's a Miles pick. It's why it's here, I guess.
All right, Ivan, what do you say?
I probably wouldn't recommend it, but I guess it's just ultimately not something I felt excited to watch. So that would be my ultimate conclusion.
Okay. I'm kind of somewhere in the middle. I don't feel like I hate it as much as perhaps maybe Ivan and Frank.
Hate is a strong word.
I mean, well, let's let you listeners go back and tell me.
You really told everyone to watch a blue
screen. Leave
screen.
comments on the YouTube version. Let Frank know.
You told everybody to watch a blue screen instead of watching the show.
That sounds a little strong. I'll say that.
Hey, I'm not a violent person.
Anyway,
that's one of the funniest things I've ever heard in my life. A blue screen.
Input 2's empty. I hear it. Maybe it might change. Let's find out. Maybe there's more chances of change on Input 2 than on Galaxy Next Door, according to Frank. But anyway, so for myself, it's if you really need a good feel show, and I do like the family aspect because I feel like that is never in most anime. So I do like the family aspect a little bit, but it is very a little too soft, a little too easygoing. I want a little bit more drama, not a lot, but a little bit more drama. it would be a hard I wouldn't say I definitely would not recommend it. I definitely would not. It'd have to be like, hey, I'm looking for a show. I'm looking for good feels. Then I would recommend this show if you're looking for that. So it's like somewhere in between, I feel like, for the show for myself.
Frank?
Oh, well,
I think Frank already expressed his opinion.
No, I would not recommend it.
What? 90?
Shocker. So yeah, let's move on to bigger and better things.
Oh my god.
There we go.
Well, you've been so savage. I'm gonna be scared now. It's gonna 2 weeks from today.
It's your turn now.
So slam dunk, the worst thing ever. Slam dunk. Why? Why even?
Apparently, me and Frank did a Freaky Friday I wasn't aware of.
Why was it created?
Why was it created? Why do they look like rectangles? Go watch a blue screen instead.
A waste of ink.
And I hope then Frank's portfolio is gonna go up now, but like 20.
The true end of the podcast is finally revealed. So.
Up or down? I don't know.
When did you get that hood on, Frank? Oh wow.
All right, so let's move on to my pick. Why Raeliana ended up at the Duke's mansion.
What a mouthful.
I know. I was just like nervous trying to say. So I guess I'll explain a bit about it. It's about this girl who I forget her name, but her name in most of the anime is Raeliana. I don't remember her human name because in the beginning she kind of dies and ends up in the book story.
Now that's an isekai.
There you go. What everybody was asking for. And basically the whole thing is that she knows what's gonna happen and she knows she's gonna die. So she's trying to prevent that and makes a deal with the Duke. I believe his name is Noah. And she kind of bribes him or blackmails him into helping her. And they agree. And things happen. I don't want to say spoilers, but that's pretty much it. So I think I'll go with Ray to see. Well, I want to hear what you got to say. What are your thoughts on this without spoiling it too much?
The worst show of the season. Just want to say that off the bat. So this show...
Well, that's just like your opinion, man.
Fair enough. But actually, this actually was a show that... this actually originally, go back to the episode... During our draft episode, this was my second pick originally.
The NFL draft.
Mm-hmm. And I was enticed with the idea of being a more political drama. It's an isekai, but most isekais are like power fantasies. Like, oh, I'm going to level up and become the strongest fighter and this and that. But this is more of a kind of Game of Thrones political drama, if you will, where she's trying to play the game and trying to survive because she knows this. The world she's in is the story she's read before. And in that version of the story she's read, the character she becomes in the reincarnation dies in the beginning of the story. So her goal is to survive and this and that. And so already that's an interesting premise. Like, how is she going to survive this when all these people want to kill her? So that already had me hooked. And then to see the dialogue between her and Noah, who is this very like powerful, almost edgelord kind of guy, who's just like always kind of tsundere like, oh, I'm always have the power in the sleeve, but every so often chip away at that armor. Perhaps he shows maybe something a little bit deeper. So yeah, I just like the idea of it's a political drama. I thought the dialogue between the two leads, it was good and interesting because often she would like talk about her like real feelings because once again for her this is like almost like a fantasy video game she's in, and she'd be like, oh my god, I can't believe these damn European nobles and their bullshit. I wouldn't have to pull up this bullshit and back in my other life. So a lot of her personality shines here and there. I will admit off the bat, if you're for anime, you might be here for the animation. Sadly, this show is also on a tight budget, and is also
I would argue a little bit tighter budget.
Probably the tightest budget of the three shows we're going to talk about today. This is true, yeah. Because I looked up the credits, and this is like the best show they put out according to my anime list, whatever the fuck that means. And plus the director, he's only been mostly an episode director, but so young staff here. But I do like the direction. It showed that once again they didn't have maybe the biggest dollars to go around. But they tried to utilize the best they could and had some focus, what it mattered and was important. So yeah, I was interested, and without getting spoilers, I was interested to watch more and more of it as it progressed into the episode 12 or 13 in and off this season. So that is it for me for my first impressions.
Wow, so you were interested.
That I was.
Miles, I promise I won't press these buttons.
I was gonna tell Ray like move the buttons away from now before I say anything else. I do like the fact that for one, the opening it's kind of like a Ray Zero kind of opening, kind of like a.
Well, it's just fucking. It's a very discounted Shaft. What's it? Tale of Memories and Melodies.
Yeah,
with the text and the colors.
Yeah, like who like once again, and there
you can see a lot. I meant. You can see a lot of the influences the director had in other projects. So you can say like, oh, this guy's seen this thing because he's clearly trying to do this shot from this and this and that.
Yeah. Overall, I thought it was unique. I guess the only issue I have with it was that sometimes, I guess because I keep missing the political drama, because I feel like most of the time it's pretty much her. She's blackmailing him. That's how their relationship is, and she's just trying to just keep alive, really, per se. But I didn't see any of the other, other political figures, not like to the roughly to the end point. That's when we get more of it, like more of what I thought this show was gonna be. But most of them is her doing, trying to survive, basically. But overall, like you said, Ray, you can see moments where the show budget's right there.
Action is not their strong suit.
Yeah. Moments where they need critical moments they need it's not there. But overall, if you listen to the character dialogue and especially the relationship between Raeliana and Noah is probably the like dual, I guess, dual protagonist, or I guess interesting couple relationships or
good characters.
Yeah, good character. What is it? I guess we call it
interaction.
I guess that I've seen in a bit. Like she has some snappy thing. He's something snappy back at her.
Very witty, smart dialogue for an anime. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Do you guys know that it's what are they called?
Manhwa.
Manhwa.
Well, I think it's from Korea, but I believe it started as a Korean light novel equivalent, I think, and then it became a comic, and then it got adapted to in Japan, which then got into a video game and also this anime series.
Oh.
And overall, I enjoy it. I don't know if they're getting their season because I think where we're at, everyone got results, so I don't know.
My turn?
Your turn, Ivan.
So, I told Frank I loved that first episode when her eyes were like very, that green was popping out and she had her hand like in her face. She's like, I will not die. That was my favorite scene from the whole show, and that was it.
Oh, okay. And it went downhill.
Yeah.
Fell off a cliff.
So, the way I see this show is like filler. Like that's the way it felt to me. Everything was filler. And before we started the podcast, Ray said that, or I think you said even during the podcast, that for you what matters is that an arc gets resolved within the season, and this one kind of had the same problem. Nothing really got resolved, at least. So and then when it would kind of get into, I guess the thing I cared about was that she wants to survive, but then it would turn into like, oh, we're gonna go buy a necklace for you. It's like, I don't care. Oh, well, we're gonna go do this instead. I'm like, I don't care. Oh, we're gonna. So, it really felt more like a daytime soap opera, where like there's like a theme and it is going, but just very, very, very slowly. So it was also kind of a hard watch for me. There were some moments I got a little bit more interested, and I got interesting when the priest one came out, and I thought it was a little bit funny, but I just don't. The main theme of the show was that so her character Raeliana dies in the novel that she's a part of. And another note I want to say, I kind of came to a conclusion I don't like isekais.
Surprising.
Yeah, so it's like, because you have to just always start off with the premise that something happens and you have no idea why, but you just have to go along.
Truck-kun comes for you. That's basically what happens every time.
Yeah. So but then the story of the novel, as explained by the main character, was that Raeliana dies, and that because of her death, the main character Noah, and then there's the heroine of the novel get together and they have a love story. So she tries to stop herself from dying because she doesn't want to die again because she was thrown off a building in the first episode, the first scene. So since she stops herself from dying and she gets involved with Noah, they're still, where's the heroine? Where is she? And then so they show scenes where, oh, she's there. And then that's when like, oh, heck yeah, the story's going to get going. and she never. We'll wait for spoilers.
I guess I'll just quickly say my general thoughts on it. I had high hopes for it, and they didn't hit. But I still enjoyed watching it, the whole thing. So that's pretty much what I think overall about it. Why don't we start with Ivan for the spoiler section /
Part
review?
2.
Yeah, part 2. So as I was saying, so the heroine, she's the main question of the show is like, where is she? Like, how is she involved in the story? And I guess it kind of makes sense, but her presence is what kind of added more drama to the show. And she never showed up. Well, I mean, she did.
She does,
but like
not in a significant way.
So it really is what you mentioned is one of those that like it ends on the like that season, and it might come together really nicely in the second season or something. But just this season in itself, I felt there was a little bit more filler, and I'm sure that that's the way the story is written. But it does kind of have like that light novel pace going, so I guess I can see it. But that's ultimately how I felt. That drama that I wanted, that suspense of her, her life being in jeopardy, was not so present as much as I wish it would have been.
How about we go to Ray?
Like I said, I had pretty high hopes. And I think overall, I thought it delivered it more than not, like maybe 51%, but still 51% nonetheless. The problem is kind of like Ivan is, not maybe as much I thought it was filler, but like that, like 3/4 marker when we started hanging out at the church, I was like, oh my God, please get me out of here. Eject. They spent like 3 episodes on like basically a gag that was the same joke over and over again of like, oh my goodness, this holy priest man is a young kid. Oh, that's crazy and wacky. Whoa. And he's also 150 years old. Whoa, that's wacky. And it's just like, this isn't good enough for 90 minutes of entertainment, let me tell you. So that part is definitely filler in my head, and I would honestly argue is the weakest part of the season. I did the aspect of her being the like, oh no, I'm stuck in this fantasy world where I know the story beats and I'm gonna die if I don't. I was intrigued by that, as I mentioned earlier. It does, but after a while, I caught myself realizing like, does it matter anymore? Because they kind of get that thing resolved like halfway through this season, so now it becomes more of just a comedy romance story, which I didn't think about until I remember me and Frank were talking about maybe last for the preview of this show or something, and I didn't think that was going to happen, but it kind of just became that. And I think Frank teased that, like, what if it just becomes a generic kind of romance? And it kind of did for the most part towards the second half of the show.
Yep.
So I was a little surprised by that. I didn't totally hate it for it, but I was surprised about it. The Beatrice, the mysterious the real protagonist. I'm a sucker for mysteries, so I kind of am interested to see what happens next, despite it doesn't get resolved at all. And I like the fact she is kind of teased here. It's almost like like old school MCU bullshit that look, it's that guy from the other movie. Whoa, maybe they're gonna show up in the next movie. Whoa, stay tuned. So I kind of liked it, despite I hated it at the same time. Definitely a double-edged sword there on that regard.
I can see that though.
Yeah. So the one thing I do, it's like a very simple, minor thing, but I enjoy it when animes do this. They do the Full Metal Brotherhood ending.
And I knew where he was going to say that.
Where they always slip in the endings theme song, and then they play, and it's like, oh, and it's like, that's what I'm saying. Like the director, he like I said, he's got no money, but homeboy knows, like, I know what the anime fans like. They like this anime, and they like this thing about this anime. So here is that thing from that anime.
I agree, because I remember I texted Frank. I'm not really digging it. And then it did one of those endings because they were in that scene where they're in the boat. And I think it's where they're throwing fireworks.
Yeah, there's fireworks.
And then she sees her from far away, the Beatrice.
The blonde girl.
And then it jumps into the ending. I'm like, oh, here we go. But next episode, what happened?
And it just falls off a cliff. Yeah,
and then
basically.
Next episode is like...
And that's, and that's when they introduce the church character, and that's when it falls off a cliff a little bit till like the last episode or two. I like they had the very, what was her name? I think I wrote it down. The real villain Vivian.
Oh yeah, Vivian.
And I liked her because the passive aggressiveness they would do constantly with each other. Like, oh, I'm so sorry that your hearing's so stupid you can't understand anything I'm saying. Stuff like that.
Oh yeah, that
was great.
Yeah, I like that. Like I said, that dialogue. Like the dialogue is very. It's very obvious. It was a light novel. Like because this is better at writing than in most anime in general. So that part still hold out throughout the whole season. I haven't talked about, I think I already talked about the fact of I kind of wish there was a little bit more resolve. There kind of is. I wanted maybe just a little bit more, but it's a very much to be continue, a cliffhanger stuff. So I am still bummed out about that. But I'm trying to think anything else spoiler wise. Characters are good, and that's the thing is like the animation was bad. But at the end of the day, I'm a writer foremost, I guess, and I think the writing, the characters are interesting enough that I would be interested if season 2 comes out. So I think I'll end my discussion there.
Yeah, I think the writing definitely carried a lot of the show, even though, like Ivan said, it felt filler, but at least the dialogue kept me in it. Miles, what about you?
To me, I think, when we dealt with other dukes and stuff, I guess I thought we were doing more like the political stuff, and I thought we were referencing more of her about, I never read the book before. This is how this happens. Even that part, that little simple part of her, like, trying to explain science, I read the book, I know what this is going on, whatever. That disappears by episode 4 or whatever, and pretty much like you said, you could turn the episode on. You can turn episode 9 and pretty much say, oh, this is a rom-com, right? This is not really, there's no intrigue anymore because it's just like, and she says something snappy at him and she says something smack at her, that's the connection, right? But I guess I wish there was more, isekai element into it, right? More like she's trying to determine in advance, these people are going to try to kill me. These people are trying to kill me. But I'm going to try to overthink that because I know that's how she dies from this one, or they're like, no, she trying to deal with it on the fly, kind of, because she has to die, right? Or according to the novel, she has to die. So I thought we were going to do more like, and now this
like a ReZero.
Yeah, and now this has to happen or this happened because I thought we had some similar moments of when because obviously Beatrice is not coming because she's not dead, and so it's like what's going to make her come over? Someone else is going to die in her place, and that's for her to come over, right? That, but I never
could be. Well, yeah, it's a mystery because you see her and it's implied there's more to her than meets the eye, but like it's a pure guess.
Yeah, and I said I feel like if it wasn't for the dialogue and exchange between her and Noah, I don't know if that show's really watchable per se. In a sense, we leave in like all the other political figures and the priest arc itself is a waste of everyone's time.
I actually liked that arc the most. I
was surprised when you said that.
Yeah, because I was actually laughing in some of the.
That's impressive.
Well, it was fine. But there was a threshold, right? A moment in which the joke is done, and they still kept running with that joke.
3 episodes, not so much. Maybe 1 episode, maybe.
And I guess I thought it would be more like her dealing with some more scenarios, like she might die here. Who's really trying to
the murder aspect? I didn't really want that to be the focus. I wanted the more political drama, which I think it leaned a little bit more towards. But then it did also decline and became more of a romance thing.
But because even a political drama, it wasn't really to the end we meet his brother. No, the brother.
Well, it picks up again.
But that's what I was looking forward to. Like, this is like and now without this, what are you gonna do now? Because it got resolved or something like that, right?
Right.
But we'll know in season 2, I guess. But this. Both the open ending is a banger.
Yeah, I did get the ending theme like on my phone right away.
There you go. That'll do it.
Yeah, because
there you go.
That's a good transition.
Yeah, they're both good. They're both good.
Yeah, and then because she's on the tree and then like looking at the stars or whatever. So whenever it always ends on like
they were very
moment.
good at cutting it.
They always do the timing, and then like I said, they seen Full Metal.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, those are my thoughts.
And Miles' thoughts?
My thoughts are in here too. I would recommend this just that be aware of the fact that it is Jenkins, especially with walking. Never once seen Noah walking the room.
There's a lot of weird walking animations.
Raeliana, and he's walking the room, and you could feel the stiffness as he was walking out.
The horse didn't gallop as much as some characters did sometimes.
It's like,
oh, sorry, I just thought of something. I hated the character design for the silver hair guy, the red hair, silver hair guy.
The night guy.
Yeah, he
Adam?
looks so funky looking.
He's anime.
Yeah, and then they're slaying dragons for some reason at some point. It's like, I'm like, oh my god.
The fantasy monster part, I was like, kind of like, what the fuck? We're doing this? I thought we were just going to do like European political drama. And it's like, all right, now we're Final Fantasy over here.
I thought it's a political stuff because like here's the Dukes, we're dealing with Dukes, things like that.
Right.
And then we're gonna go slay some monsters, right, guys? And you show your love of your life. You're like, hey, I killed this thing.
Yeah.
Someone get Donald and we'll do thunder and everything. Goofy will help us and everything.
And apparently the whole cursing, and that's when she goes to the priest because like, oops, I should have done that. You know, it's like, oh, what is this? You know,
magic exists.
I didn't even know why they went to the priest. I kind of probably.
She got cursed because
it's like a political thing.
Yeah, because she got front of the
she
monster.
won.
She won the
She won the
so
thing.
she had to go like do the Olympical torch thing. Which, by the way, all I heard was like the John Williams fanfare when they're having.
Of course, classic. Right?
I'll put that in the TikToks. Look forward to that.
I guess I'll end the second anime. Yeah, I had, like I said before, I had a lot of high hopes because of the setup, and I was thinking, okay, this is gonna be about her trying to survive, and it kind of seemed like they didn't like each other. But then once I noticed that they did like each other, that was like, no, not another telenovela. So I was like, okay, it's fine, because the dialogue, I enjoyed it. But I did enjoy how the way she interacted with other people too.
Right.
Like that fashion guy and the villain girl.
Mm-hmm.
Vivian.
Bitch.
And actually, all the other wives too. How she dealt with them because she got invited to their little.
There's a plot element, though, by the way. Like, I need you to get to the wives club. All right, I'm in the wives club. Doesn't matter anymore. Forget about it.
That's so true. I think honestly the best superpower she had though was that she can read any text or whatever.
Oh yeah.
So,
but that was like an offside comment. Oh yeah, and I guess I have this ability,
which I feel like is very like stock isekai power. It's just like, I guess you also have this ability too, because everyone else does in most isekai stories.
Yeah. The whole Pope thing, I don't know what that was. It felt weird. Like, I was like, did I change anime?
a little bit.
And also right before that, the monster hunt thing. I was like, well, dude, this is the Final Fantasy 9 when they're hunting that monster. I was like, okay, I kind of get it. Like, super rich people, they go on hunts, but they hunt ducks or they hunt deer. And then I think the thing was like, oh, let's try to make these protagonists look more cool by saying that they can hunt behemoths and dragons, and so that felt off to me. I was like, is this necessary? Like,
right.
You're
Where's the political drama?
I guess my biggest question is, why does Noah like her?
I think just because she pushes back.
She's hot.
Also, that helps. Well, but also Frank with the lore with red hair checks in a lot of boxes. You tell me, Frank, which way should we voting? Which hair do we want?
Wait, what's the question?
Do we want the evil lady's hair or the heroine's hair more?
Who's the evil lady?
The Vivian.
Red hair
girl.
Oh, Blue tries to kill her?
Are we talking about why Noah likes...
No. Which one are we choosing out of the hair color alone, Frank?
Raeliana.
Oh, really? But that's more orange. You want that anime red hair, we were told.
It's so fluffy.
The lore depends on your answer.
And I do surprised that when she braids it all, like all her hair goes into her, like, because like at one moment you see her, she's
some
dressed
tight hairpins,
like like all that hair is in her head, or braids and everything, right?
Must be tough during the summer.
I mean, like, how do you do that? And then I'll come out and it's mom floofy on her back, like it's like that's magic right there. Like all that hair goes into a nice little braid, and then after. But I guess that's it.
Magic. It's magic. But her hair is more realistic. The other one, like, you never seen anybody in real life with that kind of hair. It's like, what the?
Or do the Ace Attorney thing, but I'll save us.
Yeah, please save us.
Objection.
Pretty much.
Yeah. You can't control what the heart likes. The heart likes what the heart likes. Like Ivan said, he doesn't know why he likes that girl. He just does.
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Noah to Raeliana.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, the only thing I can think of, it's like, since it's Korean, they always have like that dynamic of like that powerful, wealthy,
right, the class levels.
Yeah, the male, and here comes this girl that's like a lower class, and of course, you know, he's rich, he's powerful,
just so
he's
happens,
handsome, and no, I don't like you. But you know, like, oh no, but I don't like you, and sure enough. So that's the only reason I can. It's just a trope, you know. So
pretty much.
I never really questioned it. It's just like, you know, 90% of the women are gorgeous in anime, so it's like, why wouldn't they?
There you go.
Unless that Vivian girl, that's like repulsive though, her attitude, so I can tell why.
She's more like an MJ.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
She's the bad kind of redhead.
There you go. There. All right, now I'm bringing the lore together and saving the lore.
Where was I? Oh yeah, those behemoths are just like, I was like, why are you guys doing this? I didn't understand the whole Pope thing too. And I felt the ending was like, it was like such little screen time for Noah, and they had like a lot of time with the other guy.
Right.
I did not notice the bad art. I guess I have a bad taste, or because I'm not liking Slam Dunk, but this is fine.
I was about to say.
I would say it's the art.
I was about to say.
It's the animation, because there's certain shots.
I don't know.
If you see certain shots that, like when they animate, when people are moving, especially forward or back or to the side, it's when you see it more.
Oh, it's there.
But
I guess I was just looking at their faces.
But
they're hoping you were too.
Every screenshot, like a screenshot, something like that.
Are they like, you know, when they have like a car
the stick basically, and they're just. And we're walking, folks. We're walking up and down, up and down.
What were you gonna say, Ivan? You were saying.
I was about to say it, but Slam Dunk.
How dare you, sir? How dare you?
Because I'm like a '90s animation, like, so I am offended.
I am offended.
Now we have a real like Nobles duel over here. Gonna come with the gloves and everything.
I don't care.
I couldn't find it. The animation did not bug me. I thought it was fine. I guess I just don't care about certain things and other things.
Yeah. So there's certain aspects that Frank cares about, and certain aspects Frank doesn't care about. That's all you need to know.
But I did get bothered by some things that I noticed. Like most of the males looked the same. Like the blonde haired rich guy, was it his brother?
That was
the purple eye guy.
That was the brother of the
Vivian.
Evil, Vivian, the bad lady.
Oh well, he looks pretty much the same as Noah, and Noah's brother looks the same. But that's the one that
checks out.
But it's just like,
it's a style.
They're all pretty boys for sure.
Yeah, it's a style. That's the way I saw it. It didn't bug me.
Have you seen Korea and what sells in Korea?
So yeah, I was hoping for something else, and then we got this, which it wasn't a hard watch, but I was just really disappointed in what it became. It became something that if it would have stayed with my hopes, I would have been like, watch it.
Right.
But then it was just like, okay, if you like telenovelas, then
right.
Watch.
Well, I guess like especially like the opening part of it, like this is like a very political drama. Look at this, like it's just a fight back, and that never like really happens.
My only hope is that if they make more, that Beatrice is the main girl, right?
No, she's no.
The real.
She's the real.
That Beatrice kind of becomes the villain, and that will kind of make
right. Which maybe
that seems to be implied.
It's implied.
Is
question
it?
Mark.
I feel like
it could go either way, but it suggests more negative than positive.
It's just the fact that the story has changed now, so now she's not sure what's going to happen next.
Right.
Because she literally changed the way how the story is.
Because we don't know how the whole story is supposed to go. We only know what she tells us, the viewer.
I hope it doesn't become another Galaxy Next Door. They're like, yeah, we should not like each other because we both like that guy. But go ahead, you take him.
Yeah, I don't know. And I guess that's I'm curious. If there's a season 2, I'm curious just to see who is this main real protagonist, quotation marks, and what are they up to?
Yeah, the season 2, the creators need to grow some balls and make stuff happen and stop going with those filler dragons.
What about this church? Maybe it's a different little boy.
And get to the real meat of the spaghetti.
There you go.
So, unless anybody has any other closing thoughts,
No, I'm good.
Good.
I look forward to season 2.
Yeah. To me, it's a half recommend. It's like depending on your likes. Like if I know you.
Yeah.
If it's just like a blind recommendation, no.
Yeah, it's kind of like just like for me, Galaxy Next Door. It's like you said, Frank. You kind of need to know someone and be like, you're looking for this certain things. Oh, okay, I got you.
But who could you know that needs the Galaxy Next Door?
Oh my god.
Apparently, Miles after the beating he's taking this week.
Oh, okay. Let's go move on to some more lighthearted anime, in my opinion. The final one for this part 1 / spring anime reviews.
Mm-hmm.
Skip and Loafer. I don't know whose pick this was because it was.
Well, technically, this was a audience pick.
Well, it was audience's pick, but it was picked on by Ivan originally, and then it was his second choice, and then they picked it, and so I guess it's up to Ivan to deliver the goods for us.
Is it Skip and Loafer or Skip to Loafer? I see both titles.
Well, both, because in English it's and, in Japanese it's to, which is and.
Oh my
Dealer's choice. I keep switching back and forth myself.
Okay. So the story is basically about Mitsumi.
Mm-hmm.
So she lives, like, I guess it would be considered the country, right?
Yeah.
So she lives in the country and she moves to Tokyo with her aunt to go to high school. So her dreams is that she wants to be a politician, eventually help out her hometown. And yeah, she's in the very go-getters, she's trying to, become big in the world, but she's at the same time, she's, country girl, kind of clumsy, dorky. And on her way to school on the first day, she messes up and she gets lost and she's late. And she runs across Sasuke, right?
Sasuke, yeah, you're right. Yeah. You got it.
Oh my god, I thought you were joking comparing him to Sasuke.
Different guy. Yeah. Different guy.
Oh, no, yeah, that's his name. So she runs across and he is very relaxed, very like, why are you tripping? There's no reason to be late, and there's no, why are you even worried?
Why rush? What's the hurry?
And she gets kind of upset at him because, she's like, hey, this is important, this is our life, and hence starts the story Skip and Loafer, or Skip to Loafer. And so my initial thoughts was, so I dropped it. No, I never dropped it, but it was in my choice. I ended up choosing Oshinoko instead of this one. My main complaints at first, I felt some of the gags were the same from Kimi ni Todoke, which is my top 10.
I mean the whole series, but got it.
So that was the reason why I just felt like it's using kind of like a copy and paste formula, but I ultimately ended up feeling it did do its own thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I appreciated that. And I guess that's my initial thoughts. To me, the best character was for sure Mitsumi. I did like how she was like this country girl, and then just kind of very jovial and happy with like just excited just to be there. And so her personality was kind of refreshing. I don't think like it was almost at first it was a copy and paste of Kimi Todoke, but I think once again I think she ended up doing her own thing, so I did like that. But when we get into spoilers, I'm gonna say what I didn't like. Oh, something else I did like was the relationship between the girls. It was kind of catty, because there was, but at the same time they kind of had so I did like that back and forth between them. And yeah, whoever wants to go next.
I think Miles wants to go next.
To me, I do sense the Kimi ni Todoke vibes. However, I will argue since Mitsumi's more straightforward and kind of like very kind of more energetic.
Yeah.
Sawako really is more laid back and kind of I don't want to say more aloof. Kind of, she doesn't exactly know her understanding of how the world is, other than what she knows. That's where I think comparison kind of stops, because Mitsumi's more like, she has a goal. She wants to become a politician. She wants to save she wants to save her town eventually. But in order for her to do that, she has to go to Tokyo to do all the stuff to get steps to get her. Because if she dreams about I'm going to be the mayor of my town one day, and I'm going to be, they're going to know me for doing all these things. Yeah. So she has a goal, a plan. She wants to, she has a plan for her life. Although some things kind of go in her way here and there, most of it kind of works out for the most part, and she kind of she rolls with the punches a little bit better than Sawako does.
Yeah.
All I do enjoy mostly when we're doing with Mitsumi and her trying to fit into the crowd, trying to be kind of like the crowd control, kind of like what Ray does sometimes. Like he's trying to make sure everyone we're cool, everyone everyone's understand what we're doing. Kind of like I didn't know especially when she realized like Yuzuki and Maruko didn't were getting along very well when they're going to the movies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like she realized like, oh nope, this she fell back. It's like she really misread the situation, but she rolled with it and she kind of fixed it eventually. But overall, I think it's fun. I do feel that sometimes maybe it seems like it's kind of going too fast to me. I feel like we're passing like 6 months in like a blink of like 12 episodes, and we're like, and now it's spring break, and now it's Golden Week. I feel like it needs to slow down me a little bit because I feel it's going like too fast, or like there's so much like these characters and relationships that we don't get more of them because like we're doing. We're now going to Christmas, and now we're going. It seems like it's going.
Checking the boxes.
A little fast paced.
Typical.
A little fast paced, at least to me. An example, say like A Galaxy Next Door. Frank, relax.
What?
But there's Galaxy Next Door. It maybe like a couple months passed, but it was very more slowed down. Well, here like we're speeding up. We're there are check marks here and there. We're just keep going forward. I think it's a little fast paced, but overall, I enjoy it for the most part. I do the openings, catchy with the whole, there's a whole dancing number.
Oh, that was good.
Oh, the opening.
Yeah, it's by PA Works, so it's very colorful. It's yeah, I know. I enjoy it. I think it's probably the best of the 3 we've seen today, at least to me.
Yeah, I guess it's not a surprise. I agree. Ray.
Pretty similar thoughts. Just to get it out of the way, this is the best production values out of all the 3 shows we're talking about today. It's got that colorful water shoujo art style that you've seen 1,000 times before. It is pretty, like it's pretty and this and that, but I guess my slight complaint against that, it's also also safe. You've seen this art style, you've seen this story, you've seen this setup before. Not necessarily a bad thing, but if you're looking for something fresh and interesting, I don't know off the bat you're gonna get that vibes. It is a very high school coming of age romance ? Very much Kimi no Todoke. Like Jesus Christ, the first bit I was like, haven't I seen this show already? It's pretty. It looks amazing. There's some differences in characters that happens, and I like the fact that they actually give time for the supporting cast to shine early on. I did like that aspect of it. Kind of made it stand out a little bit more from a lot of shows in this category. Mitsumi was kind of interesting because most characters are kind of like, oh, I don't know what I want to do in my life. I'm lost and confused. What do I do? But she's like, I want to be a politician. This is my life plan. I'm going to do this and do that. She's kind of has a plan. But of course, the drama of is she kind of is clumsy and kind of sucks at getting her goals accomplished. She's very much a flawed human being, which of course is interesting. You see the growth and makes you want to stay tuned for the show. So it's kind of a back and forth of she's not like a typical anime character, but also she's a typical anime character.
Frank, much?
All right, Frank.
I'm messing with you.
I get it. Those are my impression thoughts. I think I have more things I'd like to talk about when we get to the spoiler section.
All right, I guess I'll say my thoughts to finish up the first round. Quick things about what I liked. I liked the way they drew the main girl because I cannot think of another anime character that actually looks Japanese. It looks
they're very like kind of beautified, right? Or more like kind of like so beautiful, but no, she's ugly though at the same time, right?
I kind of agree with that too because like they kind of made her shine with her personality. Because they're not selling you off like, oh, this is a very cute character. You have to kind of watch the show and get to know her, and then as you get to know her, you start really enjoying like the character design more.
Yeah, because it's kind of like when we were talking about in the previous anime. It's like, why does Noah like her? And I'm like, well, of course, she's hot. Like, why wouldn't you like her? And this girl is like, okay, I need to see why because
I'm very curious.
Oh my god, how?
Oh my god,
diamond in the rough, perhaps.
Yeah. No, Frank's all the looks here.
Like, canceled. What? Why canceled?
Personality.
Well, you know what? You just gotta be honest and call it how it is. Is you know what? Looks are important, and I'm not ashamed to say that.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Wait till the podcast comes out, then we'll see if you're in shape or not.
What's your email again, Frank?
I don't have email.
I don't live anywhere. I'm not alive anymore.
My name's not Frank. Another I did like. It reminded me of the from last season. Tomo-chan is a girl, where like all the characters were interesting, and it kind of had that dynamic with the girl characters. But I felt a bit bad. Like can the guys get some love? I mean, the only one that got anything of substance was Sasuke, or I don't know. I don't remember his name.
Blondie.
Yeah, he's the only one that we hear anything about. But it would be nice to hear from more dudes. Even though, and I'm part of the problem that if they did do that, I would probably lose interest. But just to be fair, I'm like, gotta spread it out.
There you go.
But I didn't think that the dynamic between all the girls would be how it ended. So yeah, I enjoyed it a lot, and I look forward to talking more about it once we go to full spoiler mode. So I'm pretty much done with this one for now.
I think everyone got first impressions.
If you didn't finish your thoughts, you can finish them now.
There you go. Now's your time. Now's your time.
You can finish them now, and Miles, you'll do the honors to start.
Start for it. Yeah, like Frank said, I feel like a lot of the girl characters, you see their relationships build throughout the first episode, kind of like Kimi and Doki, and kind of like you see like Sawako and her friends slowly build, even a rival character that shows up, eventually they become friends. You see more dimension, and I feel like the guy part of it, like you see some of them here and there, but it kind of like other than Sosuke, like they're like, there's this guy who's like, I guess comic relief man, who's just gonna he's there, but he actually he does a lot more stuff in the show, but it doesn't matter about him or the guy's perspective in general.
Fun fact: there's 2 chapters dedicated to that character. Yeah. In the manga, the bald one, right, or the orange hair.
I think he had orange hair.
Yeah, orange.
The little guy.
Yeah, the one that's like trying to pick up on girls.
Yeah.
So they actually do put some emphasis on him on the manga, but this is after the arc of the anime.
Attaboy Krill.
Yeah, but I feel like the other half of Sosuke's arc, right? The whole part of that kind of felt like it was a separate story. You know what I mean? Like it didn't feel like it meshed very well with.
I agree.
Mitsumi's story very well, and I felt like we were telling 2 stories concurrently at the same time, because we'll go to her and how she's dealing with going to high school, trying to trying to get her goals accomplished, and you see his story in which it's like he's trying to get away from all, trying to have a nice, relaxful, peaceful life after incidents we never really talk about as much. We kind of emphasize, we showed pictures of it, we never talked about it really, what happened. Other than it's a huge thing, and that caused a lot of things for the model friend he has, right?
To be upset.
Yeah, but that felt like it was so last minute, kind of and here's this arc for him. and I felt like, but the fact that it felt like that's cool, what was his anime, right? Something like that. It didn't feel we're telling 2 completely different stories in this one story, and it's kind of weird.
I completely agree.
And I guess the fact, for the most part, I was going to be friendly aloof guy. That's what he did for the 4 or 5 episodes going in. And then he kind of just disappears, and when he comes back, it's like, I'm dark, edgy. This is my life. It felt very like all of a sudden we got Shinji or something here in a moment. Like he's listening to the tape.
Everything is music to my ears.
He watched Welcome to the NHK.
No, but it was when he came back, it was a whole different character, and it kind of threw me off.
Well, can I go next?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yes.
So
yes,
I hated the main character, the lead, the guy. I did not like him at all.
Huh?
I did not like him at all. You know how I mentioned I watched Naruto, and it's funny because when everyone watches the first episode, second episode, they don't like the main character in that anime, and he's actually one of my favorite characters in an anime.
Oh, he's the main character
in Nagatoro.
Well, he's the main romance.
I thought
Well, she's the protagonist, but he's the next in command, I guess.
Actually, no, I actually think he's the main character.
Next in command. That guy
No, well, the story starts with her.
Well, the problem is that I felt like halfway through.
Well, it's a duel.
It's a duel one.
It's a duel, for
that guy
sure.
can't even command his microwave to heat up his food.
So I guess like my pet peeve with him was how you mentioned that he got kind of dark and all that, and so I did dab on the manga, and they do kind of tend to do that to kind of go into like how every character's almost like a little bit. Well, everyone has their own things they're dealing with, so their own issues. So it's not that it's a bad thing. I just felt like I just didn't buy it.
It felt like it ended enough in the anime to justify him going there.
They didn't take Ivan's money,
and it kind of just and here's this arc, for people who read the manga. Here's the arc you're talking, you read or whatever, right? It didn't felt like baked into the anime. It felt like it's like, and here's that moment you guys are looking for.
Yeah, and then also like I guess like it just kind of pissed me off, like what was bugging him. You know how he kind of had the big epiphany when he was doing the play. This is like super spoilers. When he's like, oh, I guess what I've been feeling is envy, and that pissed me off. It's like, I guess I get it, but like, it just pissed me off. I just didn't like, because like a lot of the other shows, like even like Tomo-chan, the one we watched last season. It's like you have these characters that even if they have something kind of sad going on, they kind of start bouncing off each other and they start building this chemistry and they start kind of healing each other. And even though like this is kind of what they're doing in the show Skip and Loafer, he's still like being dumb about it.
Pretty much.
He's just like, no, and it just, I don't know. I just didn't like his character. I didn't like that how he kind of kept on going into like this almost self-pity thing. And I guess he kind of had a resolution at the very end, but at the expense of the show itself, because Mitsu, sorry, I can't say her name. Like you do kind of like lose focus on those other characters. You're kind of focusing on him, so that was kind of my biggest complaint of the show. So that's why from all three, I do think it was probably the better one, but I wasn't like, yes, it was sold. Oh, one last thought though, I did think what made her so cool was, how you always mention you want them to just say what they want to say. There was that mid episode where they were kind of fighting, and she's like, what I really meant to say was I just miss you, or it's more fun when you're here in school. That was probably like the highlight of the show for me.
Definitely was.
I could see that.
Great moment.
But then it kind of
Ray, why don't you share your thoughts?
You gonna hit me with something, Frank?
I like how you
I can see his. I can see. I'm not my first choice, but okay. So it's a very shoujo romance as fuck, for sure. Which is fine if you're into that. I can't say this is my bread and butter when I look for an anime, but I can appreciate and understand it and can enjoy it to a certain degree. Here's the problem with this show, and there's quite a few of them. So here we go. For one, off the bat, it's almost like the Galaxy Next Door problem. Everyone is so understanding that it's very hard for me to believe this is part of the real world. And it starts with a very like, oh, she's from the countryside, she's coming to Tokyo. Like, oh, okay, that makes sense, and this and that. And oh, they have different personalities and they clash, and maybe that's why they kind of like each other, because they're polar opposites of each other personality wise. So that makes sense. The problem is and it's funny because, and I'm going to talk about it and bitch about it, but despite I'm going to talk about it right after I talk about it, it's no longer important. So early on in the show, in the first three episodes, they really focus on the supporting cast with the Makoto girl, who's like the big nerd. There's like the super pretty girl, Yuzuki, who's just like super cute and talented and super understanding. She's like the hot girl and just like Miss Perfect in every regard. And they're like very clashing of personalities and styles, and yet somehow they get all hunky-dory within like the first 2-3 episodes. It's kind of hard to believe on those two characters. Character-wise, the other one I would imagine is worth even talking about that isn't the two main leads is the antagonist versus villain, I would argue. Nika, I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
I liked her. She was the best character, I would argue, of the show, because she was the most realistic human being where, yeah, she's jealous. Yeah, she's envious. She has girls. She has a past, and she's trying to do better little by little. And it's a struggle, but she is slowly working her way, becoming a better person for it, thanks to these people she bumps into. But the transition from here to there is very jarring because they all start off like as a bunch of random tag group, and then they all become best friends forever because they went to watch a movie together and did karaoke once. It's very hand-wavy, high school magical. Wow, that's great, fantastic. But not very realistic in my opinion. But hey, I'm just a angsty high schooler.
You've been in Tokyo, apparently.
Yeah, apparently they're very nice and friendly in Tokyo. Speaking about nice and friendly people in Tokyo, and I don't want to burst people's bubble, but here it is. Japan is a very conservative country. I personally see myself as a progressive. So there's times that these things conflict. One of these regards I have with this story is the uncle-aunt element of the story.
Oh, yeah.
Where, don't get me wrong, anyone should be who they want to be, express who they want to be, and everyone should be accepting and be respectful. I totally agree with that. Problem is, this story takes place in Japan. And this person exists, and no one bats a fucking eye, like, at all, that here is this very tall, masculine man dressed up very feminine as a woman, and no one's like, oh my goodness, isn't that kind of weird or strange or this or that? They're all just like, oh wow, you're so cool, and I'm everyone is so understanding the show, it drives me up the fucking walls. It makes Galaxy Next Door sometimes look like the biggest drama in history.
Other than that, I'll take it's fine.
Sosuke becomes Sasuke, so that's a problem for sure. We were mentioned before, which also like I don't like it, but I guess I had those things I talked about more bothered me more than that whole thing. And also, really Sound of Music, World War II. Japan, you want to bring up World War II? Are you out of all the plays to pull, you picked the one based on those Nazis sure are bad. Oh my god!
Hey, Ray, this is different. It's not Snow White.
Oh my
it's not. It's something you need.
Just do Romeo and Juliet and be safe, Japan.
Culture. Just don't think about.
I really don't want to have a history lesson with Japan and World War II.
I remember Japan wasn't part of World War II.
Yeah, exactly.
Remember? It was those darn Nazis, and that was it.
There's little things like that. Just like, really, fellas, you couldn't pick any thousands of plays with a romantic element to get the point across. We could have chose, but nah, we picked the one with the Nazis in it because boy, they sure were bad during World War II.
Last time I checked, there weren't any Nazis. It was live. Bad people, and he fought
all that happened in Europe, and not on.
And he ran away, and never happened. Nothing.
All I can think of is like, well, man, I'm glad I didn't choose it as my main one. I'm like, oh, well, that Dr. Bullet right there.
And I was like that kind of, it's just that mindset of just like, everything's fine, it's perfect. It's like, no, it's not perfect, it's not. And it's just, and that was the play, was the extra, like, the stake in the heart. It's like, you're killing the show. You're just hand-wiring everything. Everything's fine, everything's perfect. Once again, I feel like, sometimes I felt like Galaxy Next Door had more drama than this show did.
You know when, like, they show, like, the characters in anime and they're getting stabbed with, like, arrows?
Yeah.
Like, one arrow,
pretty much.
That's how I felt right now. I was like, So.
It was,
well, because
if you don't think about it, it's fine.
Yeah.
Problem is, I can't turn off that side of my brain half the time, especially if it's a very generic show like this.
And that's the thing. I feel like it'll kind of be oblivious to people like who see the show don't really think about it, right? Because like, oh yeah, that's fine. To us, it's fine, but if you think about it in context, like race is like, but this is not normal. This is not normal for Japan.
And I guess my biggest concern, I don't want people who sees this to be like, oh wow, Japan's so progressive and they're so understanding. When you go there, it's not going to be like that. I wish it wasn't, but it is. So I just want to let everyone know that anime in Japan are not the same thing. FYI.
These shows, it's funny when you have like these shows because when you have like a male writer, they usually make the girls unrealistic, and then when you have like a female writer,
it's the opposite.
It's the opposite, you know. So even my favorite Kimi to Todoroki, like I will say, probably falls under that like that flaw, but you have the main lead that kind of like it makes the show go,
balance it off a little.
But how, like Miles said, you know, you have this character that kind of just overshadowed, you know, with the story and just kind of took away from her, you know, her story, and it felt like a downer.
Yeah,
it felt like a downer, and I guess even though they try to resolve it, I just didn't care for him because, like, as I've said, a lot of the shows that I like, they have this chemistry bouncing off each other, and they're like, I guess it would have been more of a trope or a cliche, but I meet this person is like making me feel better, but instead this character's like, I envy you, and it's like, I just didn't sit well with me. That's what you're just, I don't know, it just didn't sit well with me, and I just didn't like it.
I can see it, and yeah, it's just, and then the other element Sasuke's. I'm gonna keep on Sasuke for the rest of the podcast. I guess I don't hate him as much as maybe Ivan sounds like my guess. But the thing I hated more is just like everything he brought with the drama with the girl, which what the fuck was that all about? That was just like one sentence hand waved once again of like, this is a drama beat, but also it all got resolved because it's the end of the season, so it's got to get resolved.
It's like a live version of Oshinoko, right?
Yes.
And I felt like I wasn't expecting Oshinoko to be here.
It seemed like there's no time for this. Definitely no time, let alone place, question mark.
And like I said, it felt so detached.
And like it was like the big drama beat in the last half of like, oh, this girl, I did this girl wrong. I have to do everything to make everything right with this poor girl. I gotta make all the sacrifices. I have to do everything. And it's like, and then like you find out the secret, and it's just like, oh yeah, I guess I followed him. And then it's like she just instantly cried. Like everything gets resolved. And like, why does it get resolved now? Because of she looked at the script and like, oh shit, it's time to get resolved. It's like I said, there is a lot of things that they set up, but the payoff I just find not worth my time at the end of the day when it comes to the show. And then one last thing for myself. As I bitched, and I said earlier, I was going to bitch about the supporting characters and how unrealistic this and that they are. But at the end, it doesn't matter because they all disappear after the halfway point.
Frank?
Wow, tell me how you really feel. You done?
I'm done.
You need some ice there?
Nah, I'm not even that mad. That's like the sad part. I'm just annoyed more than anything.
The ice will touch him and it'll evaporate just like that.
All right, Frank, you tell me what's going on.
All right, this is
save the show.
Save the show. I'm here to rescue. I have forgotten so much that had happened, and there's not much that I agree with you guys, but I do agree with the part with the model. That's the one part that didn't sit well with me. Where I get the part of him feeling guilty, but then when I found out what he was feeling guilty,
exactly,
I was like, come on, man. So that part was the one that I felt like okay, come on. She's like, at this point, that model was like blackmailing him or something.
Pretty much.
Because that was just like, that was off. I remember talking to Ivan that he told me that he didn't like that guy, and I kind of explained to him why I liked it, but can't remember all the details about it at the moment.
I do remember what you said though. You said that you liked him because you felt that some of his responses were a little bit more realistic, and I do agree with that. Like when she's like, "No, you need to care about school," and he's like, "Why?"
Right.
Like, yeah. So and then that is something that someone will say. I know it matters to you, but doesn't mean it's gonna matter to me.
Exactly.
So that is something that one of the areas that it makes sense.
And kind of going off of that moment where she's kind of like mad at him and kind of like complains to him about, hey, you know, you're ruining your life, you can't be just skipping school and stuff like that. That moment where she kind of corrects herself and says, I just wanted you here, it's more fun with you here. I felt that was a very unique way to confess your love to someone.
Right.
And it just didn't go anywhere after that.
Also true.
But I did like his character. I feel like I'm so old. I've been through so many phases of personality, and he reminds me of a time where, if with the exception that like all the girls like him, that never happened to me. But he does remind me of like being able to do things and not enjoy them, and kind of like having to pretend that you're fine. So as I was listening to all of you guys, I'm like, well, you guys have never been depressed. Like, it just happens like that. Like, one day you're fine, and the next day you're just like, you know what, I don't give a shit. So that's why I felt it was realistic. And the relationship that they had between the main girl and the main guy was cute. And my favorite part was when he tells her, like, you're always falling, you're so clumsy, like.
Oh, that's a good thing.
And then she tells her, well, you know what? I fall so much that I'm like great at getting back up. And it reminds me of the One Republic song, Marching On. I don't know if you ever heard it, but
nope.
No? Oh, where this one lyric where it says, I sink us to swim. And I thought that matched that moment perfectly.
I was gonna go for the Batman reference. Why do we fall?
Anyways, you mentioned that the whole dynamic between the friends was like, you know, there was friction, and then suddenly like 2 seconds later, everybody's fine.
Mm-hmm.
That's I kind of mentioned that in the first time I was talking about this anime where it looked like there was gonna be a lot of drama between them, and then suddenly everybody was friends, and it was kind of like, okay, I guess we'll stay friends.
We're all cool.
So I do get where it was like.
I didn't mind it though.
I didn't mind it, but I was hoping for
I want drama.
Yeah,
this is a high school drama, ain't it?
Yeah,
that's what they told me.
Yeah, that nerdy friend was funny too. I thought she was when she started coming out, I started having more fun watching it. And the pretty friend was the one that was like, I don't know about you. I did like the one that liked Sasuke.
Miko?
Yeah, I was kind of rooting for her.
Basically, I was kind of starting to cheer for her more.
Yeah. You know what? That whole part with the uncle or aunt.
Right, exactly.
I did not notice that she was a guy until she said it.
Oh. Huh.
And then when they have the sleepover, I don't know where he's like, "Oh, don't forget to mention that I'm a biological male."
Right.
That for me was like, let's just throw that in there.
Yeah, basically, it was just like a very the mysterious this whole plot line. Here's the answer to that plot line. Here's an answer. Okay, bye now. Don't ask me about it.
I couldn't figure out why they like. It's fine that she is how she is.
Right.
And it didn't even bother me that nobody said anything.
Right. Oh, really? Huh.
What bothered me was that she said it, because like if you put it in there and it's like, okay, we're gonna pretend this is natural. Let's pretend it's natural. But it was kind of like, hey, let's get that that trans
becomes
reference.
real.
Well, it's like a fly in the soup, right? Like, everyone's fine when you say, "Hey, there's a fly in the soup."
I guess I could kind of see that.
But wasn't the purpose of the scene just so the parents know?
We're and that's what it is. It's just more of a, hey, FYI, technically this is what the situation is.
It felt like almost they wanted to check in the box.
Yeah, right. They were trying to they were trying to be, oh, here's the realism you're looking for. Here it is. All right, and then now it's gone.
I would have preferred, instead of him saying something, if the classmates would have been like, hey, by the way, you're
right, and that's what that's. I guess I was just looking for a quick dialogue exchange of like, what's going. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm confused. I don't mean no disrespect. This and that, and bada bing, but let's just bang it out, get it out of the way, and off we go.
So, yeah, and like, that's how I felt. So that was the one part that was like weird. Yes.
No, I just wanted to say that I really like the way you're describing the show, like about the depression part, because I think that there is moments where hard to dislike him, so that's why you've been saying the word like hate, because there is moments where you're not feeling as like happy or you're seeing basically when you're depressed. Even if everyone around you is happy, you're not happy with them, or you're not. You're not feeling it. So, and that's
right.
kind of like what ultimately ended up happening with the show. I guess my problem with them, and it's something that comes out later in the manga, is that you, at least me, when I'm, putting like realism aside, when you're in a story, you kind of want the character to take that step forward, to kind of, like, I'm gonna do, almost like.
You need to see the hero slay the dragon in sense.
Right.
Character development.
Exactly.
Growth.
Mm-hmm. Change.
And I don't know if he does it, and and I'm already going more towards the manga. He has like a big downer, and it's just like,
what a downer.
What a downer, man.
And it's just like I feel like he's so inconsistent, he's very inconsistent. So like, and also like, because the whole thing is that he's this pretty boy that everyone likes him, and just the fact that he kind of almost like, you said in Galaxy you didn't like that, everything was coming easy to him. Well, here's this guy that has like, I guess everything at his fingertips, it potentially, right? And he's like, I don't know, just being naughty about it almost to some extent, but you can't, but at the same time, you can't say if someone's actually suffering from depression. You can't say, oh, but but you're rich and you're good looking, and you shouldn't.
Right. That's not gonna work.
Yeah. So I can see both sides. Also, ultimately, I would just say that it's still not a preferred character how I like stories. It's so I don't feel excited about him. I don't feel like I if I'm to pick between him and the main lead, the girl, I dig like the way she is. Like,
oh yeah, I like her way more too.
And him, it's like I kind of wish. I wish his shell would have broken a little bit more within the season.
I personally don't mind the going back a step. To me, it's more when I talked about him as negative, it's just all the baggage and the story elements he brought along with the acting part that bothered him as a character and what he was going through. I kind of agree more with Frank what was going for. But like I was too busy with like all the here's this character and here's this and this drama that like I'm just like I don't want this or need this and there's no time for that.
Yeah, I kind of got where he was coming from. Maybe the anime didn't do a good job of like bringing it up,
right?
But I did see where he was coming from. I knew I was gonna like this one more than the other two, like in the first 15 seconds.
Opening.
I was like, son of a, I lost. But you know, after that, after my grief and then disappointment in picking a loser, because I mean, even if this one doesn't win, this one like mine's not gonna beat this one. It's not gonna beat whichever one wins. Anyways, having said that, I did enjoy like a lot of little details that they had, and I kind of want to watch it again to notice them more. Just to finish it off, I thought it was funny. I kind of didn't expect it to be so dark, like at moments. But that was for me understandable. The part that was annoying was the whole model thing, and it was like
also the mom thing too. If you think about
that was another thing. Like, oh, here's this problem, but we're not gonna really address it. Also, no time for that. Gotta go.
yeah. You know what? Now they mentioned that, like, I thought that the mom had done something terrible to him or something. They're just like, wait, what?
Yeah, it's
and then
like
little,
I said, it's not so much him, but all the baggage.
The little brother things that bothered me the most of the whole show. The fact that he's like, I can't even.
No, I could see that.
That was weird to me.
That was uncharacteristic. Kids are not like that. Like,
no. It's his reaction toward the fact that he doesn't know how to deal with the kid, or which part are you talking
about?
The part where he cried was weird for me.
No, because usually like I actually true.
Bought all of it.
It's true that some people might not know how to respond with the kid that's not part of your family, but when it's like a kid that's in your family, that's weird.
But they're step siblings. There's I don't know. I kind of granted I don't have step siblings.
I know that's another one.
I see what you mean, but
I'm not taking that. That's the one of the ones that was like the whole thing.
I'm not taking that.
No, I'm not taking it as like
you will take this, Ivan.
I don't buy this.
Because
I can't take that ride.
There you go.
Like
you're ready for that one. Frank.
I'll give you an example. So like my mom is taking care of the little baby right now, right? And everyone has gravitated towards the baby because it's like a natural thing that happens. There's a little one and they fall, they do this thing, and it's almost like a little kitten, you know.
Well,
and of course,
I'll be nice.
But I'm not buying it.
Not all families work that way. Is my
yeah.
comment.
You know what? Like
it's true,
like,
but a little kid, I don't know.
Not all families work that way. That's all I can say.
I get what you mean because my family, we're all like that. Like, he's son of your tia, then, everybody likes him and stuff like that. But I have met people where they're very distant, and even if they're like very close family members. So I can kind of see that. So I see why it bothers you, but there are a lot of families that are pretty messed up. So.
But once again, I think there was no justification for it.
Well, there's no justification for either way, I would argue, because there's no time for it. That's the problem.
There is no time for it. We're trying to literally jam like
it's a whole big story plot element,
an arc into like 2 episodes if we're lucky.
It was just poorly executed. That last arc question mark, whatever we're calling that.
The part that did bother me about that scene was when the kid cried. That was the weird part for me.
It makes it weirder. It's hard because we don't, but that's the problem, is the damn show doesn't tell us anything. It doesn't show us, it doesn't tell us. It's all just, I don't know, read the manga, maybe it'll tell you there, but it's not here, fool.
Yeah, so basically, like, in a way, almost everyone's saying the same thing.
There's just no time. Yeah, exactly.
They just didn't, like, he's sad, that he's depressed, that he's skipping school and loafing around and
we got it again.
You got to the last thing I wanted to say.
Oh shit.
And so yeah, we understand that, but like Season 2.
You know what? That was the last thing I was gonna
Let's
mention.
skip it more loafing.
The title of the show, and I even asked Ivan like, what does loafer mean?
To skip to loaf.
Yeah, there you go.
And if we go based off of what Ivan just said, the show's about him, but it's just me in my head and want to fit everything perfect. Where I was like, I wish that
connected.
One of the words I hope that stands for her, and
I assume that's what skip was.
She's the skip.
Yeah, I would have.
She skips along.
Literally in the first episode,
I thought
their introduction, she's like skipping, running to go to school, and he's just like slowly following her along. Thus, I thought that was the name of the. I thought it was like self-explanatory right there. And
she's
like
running.
well, in animation, she looks like she
use different muscle
skipping.
groups for skip.
There you go.
A lot of practice at skipping.
Yeah.
See, I thought he was the skip because he's the.
Now he's loafing around.
Francis,
he's got nothing to do.
Look here. Look at diagram A here. Diagram A. See clearly her foot's over here and here, so therefore clearly
and
she's.
when her ankle leaves the floor and jumps to the next motion.
Zooms right in.
Enhance.
It's true though. She was running though, right? Because she was running.
I didn't see those calf muscles tense up.
Do you know what was funny? The best thing was
redhead, calf muscles. Keep going, friend.
When she threw up, remember? That was pretty funny. So
it's got cute, silly moments. There's parts of the show I like, and there's parts of it not so much.
Well, yeah. Even though all of the negativity I've been hearing, and I agree with some of it, I would recommend this one to pretty much anybody. So,
for the production values, I guess.
I didn't feel it was
original.
Then I suggest open your eyes next time.
I feel for Mitsumi, I would say yes.
Let me borrow your glasses.
I feel like
I
think Mitsumi's personality is different from other female protagonists we've seen.
Is it though?
Well, I mean, in a sense,
so.
but
it's slightly different.
And, even the fact that she doesn't look like
I'm a socially awkward hillbilly. Oh no, what do I do?
Oh my gosh, everyone's been so mean to you.
Well,
from watching a blue screen to.
Miles didn't write this story. He's fine.
Yeah.
I'll make further on.
Who hurt you, everybody in the podcast?
I just hope we don't meet the creators on the street.
Now I see how Sosuke feels at the end of that.
I wonder if they're very progressive. Let's find out.
They'd be like, "Well, what do you do for a living?" "Oh, I made a Galaxy Next Door." Like, "Oh shit." By the way, my name's not Frank.
My name's not Frank.
So
not Frank.
Would you recommend it, Miles?
I would, because I think for all the negativity we had, so the last couple episodes, I feel like it's still enough positivity, especially seeing how.
I'm still thinking about myself. Sorry.
I think you're behaving like Sosuke.
So am I good or bad? Depending on this conversation, I don't know how to feel.
You kind of see how Sumi sees the world and how she thinks sometimes, because she'll think out in her head.
Yeah.
And she plans like, it seems like a little image like her being like a little cat. When she does like her senpai, right? Who's the vice president of you see like her reaction, being like a little cat, and then even they do little justifications that show her feelings and thoughts of what's going on in her head, and that's how she feels like, especially when talking with the model. She was became like a little mouse. Like,
oh yeah.
Oh huh.
But that's exactly how you feel. Like you feel, that's how it feels like. But I think because of production values and her alone, I would recommend it.
I kind of agree with that too. So production, I know it's one of because I saw a lot of animes this season. So I saw 8 maybe. So
damn,
I feel kind of burned out. So I would recommend it because I think it's one of the better productions, and I think she was enough to keep the show going. Because I'm remembering now that scene where, remember, she took the video and she didn't do it, and they started talking smack about her, and she was sad about it. But that was the scene that Frank mentioned. Then when it's I become I'm a master, knowing how to get back up and all that. So she had some great moments.
That's true.
And so I still think that Sasuke, he will have some form of redemption. I think that's maybe the whole thing of
right, yeah.
So I think maybe towards the end you're gonna be like, you know what, I do like you,
right.
But I just think it's almost how I said Galaxy, I wanted more drama. This one I wish they would have toned down his drama.
I can see that.
They'll most likely make a season.
I'm surprised you gave a better recommendation for the Galaxy Next Door.
Yes. But yeah, I just think that show promises and delivers more than this show. This show promises a lot and delivers maybe half of the goods.
Well, I'm looking forward to the next.
I hope next season, or that too. I hope next season's better, and also next week is better.
I guess I hope maybe next week when I feel really good about Ray's pick, the Insomniacs After School, and I feel that that's probably the real winner this season. But that's just me, just from what I've seen so far, and I read the manga too. So
Damn, you guys are so far. I haven't even touched those two.
I've only saw the first 2 episodes.
And I feel like Oshiko might be a little hype, but that's just
shocker.
Have you read the manga?
Yes.
You read the manga for that one too?
Yeah, I read because I had the first book. I read that one.
Yeah, look forward to next week, where we talk about happier and funner things.
Hopefully.
You need to have an ending like how we talked about Raeliana, how it just jumps perfectly with the ending theme.
Oh.
I don't know. I don't have it.
I'd have to make a special thing. We'd have to time that just right.